Hello everybody, welcome in. It's another drawing stream, another chill day stream. We're starting out with reading Reddit stories from Smosh Pit because I love it and it helps me actually focus. Donut, welcome in, and Aries, welcome in. Donut, what is wrong?
Came all the way from Mexico, dude. You better appreciate this.
In this time, that's crazy.
It is.
Wow, Ian, thank you. Lovely.
Thank you.
Nice.
Holy crap, the gift
Very
of
kind.
beans.
You're welcome.
Brought the gift of beans to us all.
Okay, I thought you were about to tell us an embarrassing story.
Yeah, me
but
too.
no, you just showered us with
It's pretty
gifts.
embarrassing that we thought that you would tell an embarrassing story.
You know, I'm a changed man. Now, all I give is beans.
I don't know if, I think the most embarrassing thing, it's not embarrassing because you did it to yourself, but on Bit City, I don't know if your incredible
Wait,
bit
what do you
is out
mean?
yet or
Like you
not.
can't get into anything on your
That's what
laptop?
I suppose it gets to embarrassing
what,
stories.
PBL?
PBL, man. Once PBL happens, if it's out or not, once you see it, come back to this video and comment
About PBL.
about PBL.
Yeah.
Okay.
PBL Drizzy.
God, holy shit.
Someone should Photoshop that.
Someone will.
PBL Drizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some embarrassing stories here. Our first one, it comes from Today I F***ed Up.
Whoa.
Boo. Today I f***ed up by accidentally revealing my student's paternity during a genetics lesson. Ooh, okay. I'm a student supplemental instructor at my university for genetics. My job basically revolves around reinforcing concepts already taught by the professor as an optional side course. Earlier this semester, while going over parental blood typing, I got to explaining how having an AB blood type works as opposed to AO, half A, type A, or AA, full A, type A, in little genetics Punnett squares. I asked if anyone knew their parents' blood type to the class, and someone raised their hand and told me that his father is AB and his mother is type A and that he is type O, which is impossible. I went through with the activity for some reason and ended up having to explain to him that the only way this can happen is if his mother is AO and his father was type O, AO, or BO. He now doesn't know if he's adopted or if his mom cheated on his dad. After the session, I walked over to the genetics professor's office and confirmed with her
So
that this
now
is
I don't have
impossible,
Minecraft
and
or
she said
anything.
she'd be
No.
mortified to try to tell him the
Oh, that
truth
sucks.
behind
They
that
went through and
hoped he
like
was misremembering. Fast forward to today.
assigned
A friend
you
of his
for
updated
something
me and said that he
special. No, you
confirmed the blood
didn't.
types and has kept it
Say
to
cat
himself
for
and
right
figured
now.
out he wasn't adopted. I ruined how he sees his mother, and I kind of feel guilty about it. At least he did well on his exam.
Uh-oh.
That has to be like the lamest way to find out that your mom cheated.
Like through science.
Yeah.
Science.
Through like some genetics like, class.
That's kind of nuts now that he knows his mom cheated.
Yeah.
And his parents don't know that he knows, and his dad maybe doesn't even know.
So his dad, his real dad is a type O probably or something?
Yeah, or AO. Yeah. That's the only possibility.
That's crazy, bro.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's devastating.
I just want to know like how that question was even posed of being like, hey mom, just like wondering, like, am I adopted? Like what?
Well, because I think they said, a friend of his updated me and said that he confirmed the blood types and has kept it to himself and figured out he wasn't adopted.
Yeah.
So he knows that he's his mom's son, but that his mom cheated on his dad. So he knows that for sure. But how does he bring that up to his mom? And will he bring it up to his mom? I mean...
Yeah, like what are the circumstances?
I hope your
Y'all
run
know your blood
times are
types?
up. Sorry, I mean wheel times. What?
I don't know.
Ooh,
I
special.
might be like AB negative or B negative or sounds like I'm a negative person.
How do you know it's negative?
I just remember there was a negative.
Oh, there was a negative?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think type O
So-
is the most common.
I got this mango
I thought
tea,
typo was
right?
universal
Or
then.
this
Is that
mango
AB?
drink
I think
brisk
O
Got
is-
A
from
positive
Taco
was-
Bell because
O
We're
they
is-
got
so
rid of
far
root
out
beer,
of
which is my
argument.
favorite.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of my
quality is
favorite
universal
lemon
sugar, right?
I think all of
drink
us,
with like ice
if
cream in
we
it.
all
So I'm
band our
trying
minds
this, and I
together, we
was
can
like-
pass, high school
I was like,
biology test.
you know, this
Yeah.
is kind of
Depends on
good,
who
but it
you listen
reminds
to,
me of
like,
something.
We
you
definitely
know?
understand
And all of a
blood.
sudden, I
Yeah.
remembered it reminds me
I
of my
collected
mango
blood.
vape pods
so?
that I used to
Okay.
smoke.
I don't know. I've never
And
bled.
now I'm disgusted.
Nobody has ever struck me.
What
No,
would,
just kidding.
what would you do if you found out that your blood didn't match your dad?
That'd be crazy, man. I'm pretty sure it.
Raspberry is better.
and
I don't
you
think
know
they
what I
had.
know?
Wait, are you
I
talking
kind of
about blue raspberry? Because they
figured
did
out my
have blue
type O and
raspberry.
got,
They had the blue
I
raspberry and then
donated
like a
blood to
grape one, and I'm
Blue
like,
raspberry.
I'm not
But
drinking
I
cough
have my
syrup.
grandpa's dog tags from when he was in Vietnam, and it has their blood type on it
Yeah.
because
Aw.
they be
Baby negative
shot.
or baby
Yeah.
positive.
Sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes the in blood
Sometimes when
becomes
you're
out blood.
at
Yeah.
war, that tends to happen.
At war.
So I guess that. So I think I'm O positive.
Oh,
You
like,
pretty positive
that's so funny
about
because
that?
your
I'm not
grandpa's name.
I feel
your
like
grandpa's name
this
was
arm
Opa.
looks a lot
Yeah.
better.
Oh.
I call it my O positive. That's what's funny.
Wow,
Wow.
that's good.
Some comments here. I have 100% read this exact story before. Someone said because it happens a lot more than people realize. Ooh. And then someone said exact same thing happened at my high school. The curriculum got changed after that. The kids' parents got divorced. Someone said, yeah, Mendel's peas seem like a lot safer subject matter now.
Are
No
you gonna, like,
raspberry
learn
brisk
less
iced tea. Oh, they don't
because
have
they're
that
trying to,
here.
like, protect
Maybe it's
people
just
from
like
finding
a
out that they're
like
not
where I'm at type of
biological?
thing.
But it's also
But I
like
haven't
the
really
students
looked.
who
Did they
might
get
be
rid
getting
of root
made
beer
fun
at
of
your
or bullied
place?
because we found out that.
That's
Your
where I
Taco
understand
Bell?
In high school, it's like, oh, you don't want to be publicly finding out something.
Yeah.
That's respecting people's privacy. In university, though, it's like, hey, you seriously want to be a geneticist? Like, I'm sorry, we're not going to take away how we do things for that reason. You're there because you're paying to be there. It's a little bit of a different thing
Absolutely.
to me. And also, like, in university, it doesn't have the same, like, school dynamic as high
Also,
school.
okay,
Yeah,
now I
feel
can
like
kind of
college is,
fix
like, a lot more
this.
adult and a lot more
I
mature.
so I don't mind how like
And I don't even know.
chunky
Actually
this
bullied
is,
more in
but I
college.
don't like.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Didn't you do a
I guess
semester?
that might be a
yeah,
little
he
better.
You
actually
just
got
bullied
booted
so
because
hard,
he
you're like,
bullied.
I'm done. I'm done, man. I did my bullying.
He did.
Yeah.
He specialized in blood bullying.
Yeah.
So he bullied
I go into
people.
those genetics classes and be like, all right, which one of you is adopted?
I specialize in blood bullying. Sounds like a build in Elden Ring. Last comment here. Maybe you today I f***ed up more than you think because in fact, it is possible to be O being one parent AB and the other parent AA or AO. And OP said, yikes, I didn't know that. I went to her office to see if there was any wacky genetics that could explain it, but just took it at face value when she said it's impossible. Should have Googled it, I guess, LOL. That's
Oh.
nerve-wracking if the professor
Like
is-
multiple people who are being paid to teach this stuff actually were both wrong.
I don't
Wait,
know.
are we gonna trust a Reddit person?
Yeah, the
a
Reddit
rando
person was-
Reddit.
Reddit person's like, trust me, I know. I have no idea. Regardless, I think the hypothetical of if that was revealed, because I feel like that's a very realistic thing. As someone else
Okay,
said,
what do we think
it's just
now?
like-
This is
I
not
feel
that
like it probably
bad.
happens more
I'm
than you
gonna
think.
flip it.
no, that stuff
I feel
happens
like
all
it
the
happens
time.
a lot.
Well, what also is crazy is 23andMe.
Mm-hmm.
It actually doesn't look that bad, other than the fact that it's a
reveals,
little
it's
bit more
insane.
crooked than
What
I
if
want it to
the
be.
student's mom, like maybe the dad couldn't produce, and and they got a sperm donor.
Very possible.
No cheating, no
Very
foul
possible.
play.
That's true.
Yeah, you're very right.
Who knows?
Yeah. Next
Nope,
story.
root beer's still there, just look.
Today I f***ed up by telling a girl she turned me gay.
Okay.
Hell yeah. I knew it was real.
I'm gonna
Hey,
double
what's
check.
the
Maybe
one
it's just
Thursday?
our one store, but I'll
man.
look at the one
You
in
turn me
that's a little
And,
farther
I
away.
need you to change
So
it
there's
back.
one that's 25 minutes away and they stop.
Change it back.
But then
please.
there's one
Change
that's
it back.
like 30 minutes.
This
Maybe
happened
they
a
have
few
it.
hours ago, and my husband keeps teasing me about it. To clarify, I'm a bisexual guy.
Okay.
There's a Barnes & Noble that I frequent semi-regularly. There's also a cute girl that works there,
Menu.
Megan, that I had a crush on years ago. We liked the same books and
Drinks.
had a few polite conversations here and there.
Okay,
One day I
so
worked up the courage to ask
we
her out,
have-
and she gave me her number.
trying
But
to
a
do
few
it without
days later,
like
she
okay.
let me down easily, and I
Pepsi,
didn't go back to that Barnes & Noble for
Pepsi
a while.
Zero, Mountain
After
Dew,
the
Mountain
awkwardness wore
Zero,
off, I would
Baja
go back and
Blast,
we'd be
Baja
polite, but
Blast,
there was a
Dr.
bit of
Pepper
tension
Starry,
there. At
Gatorade,
least I thought so
Mango
anyway.
Fiesta,
Fast forward a few
Brisk,
years,
Brisk
and I'm
Dragon
married to my wonderful
Paradise.
husband,
They only
and
have
Megan's the
unsweetened
worst
tea
Barnes
at
&
the
Noble. I went with my
Taco Bell
husband
there
to
too.
Barnes & Noble,
Okay,
and Megan was
so
there. She was busy, so I
still
didn't try to have a
nothing
conversation
there.
with
There
her.
is the
My husband was
blue
looking around on
raspberry
the other
freeze,
side of the
wild
store,
strawberry
and I was in the manga
freeze, and
section.
then the
Don't judge. I
Baja
round the corner and almost
freeze.
bump into Megan. I
So I'll
apologize, and we both
change
laugh and have
this
small talk and talk
to-
about one of the few books Sarah J. Maas is coming out with in January. At some point, she notices my ring and says congratulations, and I say thank you. And this is how that conversation goes.
Okay.
She says,
We
"I
now
hope
just
she
have
makes
the
you happy.
strawberry
I hear
freeze,
marriage
the
is
Baja
tough." I
Blast
respond with,
freeze,
"He does
Pepsi,
make me
Pepsi,
happy. We've only been
Pepsi
married
Zero,
a few
Mountain
weeks,
Dew, Mountain
dating for a
Dew,
year, and
Baja
things have
Blast,
been
Baja
smooth."
Blast,
She looks at me
Starry, Gatorade
confused.
Fruit Punch,
He?
Dole
And
Lemonade,
here's my-
Strawberry Squeeze,
I
which
said
I
something
probably
funny and
would have
said,
actually liked
"Yeah,
that.
when you rejected me, I thought
Another
I'd have more luck on the
Dragon
guy's
Paradise,
side, and I was
sparkling
right,
iced
so thank
tea,
you for turning me."
unsweetened iced
I
tea.
laughed,
So
hoping
still,
she'd get the
they only have
sarcasm in
Pepsi and
my
Mountain
voice, but she
Dew
didn't.
besides
She
the
turned red
Baja
in the face
Blast.
and tears welled
What the
up in her
fuck?
eyes. Then she apologized
What?
and pretty much ran away into a side
Okay,
room
let me
before I could tell her that I was
try
joking. I
farther
wanted to
away.
wait for her to come out so I could apologize for the joke, but after 15 minutes, I didn't think she was
Let me
coming
see where
out.
the closest
I
one
found my
is.
husband and made a hasty retreat to the car.
Oh, okay,
and
so
told
there's
him
one
what
in
happened. He
Higginsville.
laughed and called me a monster.
Guess let me
jokingly.
see.
I may need to find a new bookstore. Edit. This blew up overnight.
Ooh,
Apparently
okay,
it's
so they
all over
have
TikTok.
Midnight
Hasn't been
Cherry
there a full
Freeze, which
day.
I've tried
wasn't
that and I like
expecting this,
it.
honestly.
Raspberry
To clarify
Freeze,
some things,
the blue
I am a
raspberry
guy.
freeze.
I am also
Strawberry
24.
limeade
Too
freeze,
many
which I
people
would
have
like
said,
that. Vanilla
"Wait, I thought
cream,
OP was a girl."
lemonade
I've seen a lot
freeze,
of
which is
emotional
my
damage and
favorite.
D&D
Just
references to
lemonade
psychic
freeze.
damage. While
Strawberry
hilarious,
freeze.
it wasn't
Baja
my intent to
Blast,
hurt her.
Pepsi,
Just
Diet
in light of an old
Pepsi, Pepsi
situation that I
Zero,
thought she
Mountain
didn't even
Dew,
think
Mountain
about
Dew
anymore.
Zero, Baja
Also,
Blast,
Megan and I
Baja
never
Blast,
dated. We
Starry,
talked for a few days. I
Fruit
asked her out to the
Punch,
county fair, and
Lemonade
that's when she
Strawberry
rejected me. She
Squeeze,
said I was
Mango
the first person to
Fiesta,
ask her for her
Dragon
number,
Ice
and she
Paradise,
was shocked and
and
nervous and decided to
unsweetened
give
iced
dating a
tea.
try, but
It
she wasn't
is it just like
comfortable with me.
Missouri?
I
Did
said I
Missouri
understand,
ban
and I
root
let it
beer?
go. I'm not sure if she's dated anyone or
Hold
if
up,
she's
I'm gonna look this
asexual.
up.
We're not strangers. We talk whenever I go in, and she's not
Does
busy. She knows my name. We're
Taco
not friends, but
Bell
we're friendly. The joke may
still
have been inappropriate, but I honestly didn't think
sell
of it that way. I'm honestly not
beer?
upset about her rejecting me. It happened 5 years ago. And no, we're not asking her for a
Literally
threesome.
says
You know
yes.
who you
Taco
are.
Bell still sells mug root
Okay.
beer. Okay,
Huh?
in
I think this is
Missouri.
funny.
This is okay,
This
but
is great.
it's so funny that he came out to her and then he kept waiting for her to come out. You know, out of that room. But
Yeah.
it's just funny to hear
Oh,
that.
funny. I think
Okay,
like,
so it's not in the
man,
one that's like
if I
an
if I was
hour-ish
bi, I
away.
feel like
So
I would
let's
use
go
that line
to
on
an
so many
hour and a
people.
half
Like,
Yeah.
or
like,
an
yeah,
hour
it's
40
just like,
minutes. There's
it's
no way
crazy
they
you said
don't
me
have
gay.
one
Like, it's
near
such a,
Kansas City.
it's
There's
such
no
a
way.
funny, it's such a funny thing. Like, it's weird that she took it
Bro,
so
what?
Yes.
poorly.
Yeah, especially because like
Okay,
like,
let's go
if I
south
were
to
there was someone that I
Clinton.
knew who we even dated, and then
Me
they
trying to
say
figure
he, and
out.
I'm like, oh, that's great. Like I immediately get it. But the fact that she was like,
Look in the
he,
app
like, and
rotato.
then
That's
the
what I'm doing. I'm in
tears
the app
her
right now.
eyes,
Yeah.
it feels like some internal feeling.
Oh, they have coffee in this one, which I do remember having coffee.
Yeah.
But like.
Okay, coffee,
I
unsweetened
can
iced
understand
tea.
that
They also have
like,
iced
you are not
coffee.
super
They have
educated
iced cinnamon
as a
and
woman,
hot cinnamon
you
delight
feel
coffee.
that you were
Unsweetened
told
iced tea,
you're so
dragon
unattractive
paradise,
that
mango
that person is
fiesta,
gay now.
lemonade strawberry,
Oh,
Gatorade
I
fruit
think, but
punch,
that
starry.
is like you
Mug
shouldn't
root
you should not
beer! Are
make
you
it not
kidding
about
me?
you
It's
at
in
all.
Clintonville.
and
How
he
far
said,
away
like,
is
after you
this?
rejected me,
Hold
I'd
up,
have
because they
more
got good
luck
drinks
on the
there.
guy's side.
They
Like,
got
he's
good
not
drinks there.
saying,
They don't have
like,
my lemon
It's
one,
weird that
but
he brought up
let's
her
see
rejecting
how
him, like, that kind
far
of puts her in an
it
awkward,
is from where I'm from. Okay, so
uncomfortable position. He
Clinton,
didn't have to say that.
Missouri.
I think even just being like,
It's
yeah, you told me
46
gay.
minutes.
Like that's something that
I'd
like
rather
Spencer would
not
probably
drive
say
46
back in the
minutes.
day.
Yeah, because I
But-
guess it sounded
Dude,
like he was
story of how
putting the
Starry
blame
came
on
around is
her,
wild.
which I guess I can
Wait, what's the
understand,
story?
Why she would become emotional about that.
But it's such a ridiculous thing
Yeah.
that, like, I don't know. I
You would
feel
have
like,
thought they would have had the rapport at that point.
yeah,
that,
and
like,
anyone who knows, it's just like, yeah, I know you. I know you don't turn gay. Like, I know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but
you
he
discovered this about yourself, or you.
for
yeah.
sure he said himself in the story that he felt tension sometimes after being rejected. So clearly, like him making a jab at her rejecting him, that doesn't put a great
That's true.
vibe.
That's true.
And I'm sure that whole thing really kind of took
Okay,
her
does that
back,
look a little
regardless of
better?
her opinions on it.
It's true. I think, yeah, we don't know what's going through her head. We don't know this person that well. It doesn't seem like he knows her that well, because they just
Yeah.
talk at the Barnes and Noble, so they have that kind of rapport. We don't know where her head's at. She might be someone with a ton of anxiety or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't know why she's.
The only
like
problem
she
with
could be
using
trying to
a
still, like,
actual
"Oh, I hope my
humanoid figure
rejection,
is it's
like,
not going to be right.
hurt you."
Yeah.
Even though I know you're joking, it's like it's
Yeah, I
still
mean,
like
it sounds
a
like
thing.
even dating was something that she was really nervous about giving a try. So maybe
Right.
she is just like a very in general nervous person.
Oh.
Yeah, there could be a lot going on.
I have a more foundational question. What,
Oh my god,
do
this
people
looks
just have
good.
a Barnes and Noble person? They just like
Hold up, I love cheesecake
Not
and
really.
I
just,
love
like,
peppermint
have a rapport
flavors.
with? Like, this is like
Oh,
a coffee
speaking
shop
of,
thing? Like,
since
Like,
it's
you go to a bar- you
Christmas
go to
time,
Barnes and Noble a
guys,
lot. Like you love
I
going
used
to
that
to.
means
Barnes
they
and
have
Noble,
the
like,
white
that's a
peppermint
good thing.
I used
chocolate
to, when I was, like,
Hershey
an
Kisses in
unemployed
the
actor,
store now.
yeah.
and I had nothing to do, I would go to Barnes and Noble a lot just to hang out. Like, I just like looking at books. I was buying books all the time.
Yeah.
But I never had a rapport with anyone.
You just never had like a dude you just dap up and
You
like
send out
just,
No.
just talk
Gengar,
about the
I send
next,
out
like,
Mewtwo.
Jane Austen novel you guys are excited about.
Yeah. Yeah, that next one that's coming out.
Yeah.
I hear she's about to come out with a new
Just
one.
popping off.
Yeah.
Also,
but, I
it's
mean,
kind of
I
nice
think
now
it's-
that I
if
don't
he's a
have to,
regular there, I mean, there
okay,
is,
anyway,
like,
let me
coffee shops in some of
focus.
them, maybe like
Okay, not
I don't
arm.
know. But I mean, I definitely at one point like was going to a Starbucks to do schoolwork a lot, and I had a rapport with the baristas. But I think that's more common.
I think so. Yeah,
But
that's why I
Barnes
never
and
heard of like a
Noble-
Barnes and Noble like
Yeah.
rapport.
There's smaller locations.
But maybe he just maybe it's not like all the time, but
Yeah.
just when he went there, he was
I
interested.
don't think
in
it's
her. So
that
that's true.
bad.
they did talk,
Cute.
so he did ask her out. So then it was like, so maybe
Yeah.
he's talking like every couple months he sees her. It is, yeah. There's an argument to be made that bringing up a rejection from 5 years prior, regardless, is awkward.
Yeah.
I think overall this is funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they truly had a good rapport and she knew him better, it would have been a better reaction. Like,
Yeah, he could have maybe, depending on if I saw this rapport in person, he could have like gone in a little bit more about his relationship first, being like, yeah, we've been married for 5 years. He's so great, like this stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, after your rejection, like maybe after that, but he did it so quickly
Yeah.
that it's, I don't know. She might have just come across, she might have just felt like, oh, you don't like
The
me.
girl on
Like,
TikTok who got
not
a
that I believe
case
your story,
of cease and
just,
desist
oh,
letter
you
from
actually
Pepsi
don't like
because
me.
Right.
That might have been what it
TikTok
was.
name
a
was
little bit.
Sierra Myth, so she waited till the
But-
trademark was up
Yeah.
and
Some
purchased the
comments. It was a pretty
trademark.
funny joke. Obviously,
and
she didn't
sent
react to it
them
well, but I imagine you
back
can
a
clear it up if you
letter.
see her again.
That's why Sierra
He
Myth
said,
no
I
longer
may need some time
exists.
before I go back.
Oh.
Oh.
With like a laughing, sweating emoji.
Mhm.
That's
Dixon
kinda
responded,
stupid.
Honestly, I wouldn't wait. Something might have happened to her in the meantime,
That's so
and
dumb.
she linked your joke with something, and that hurt her. I would really try
I
to
mean,
talk
I
to
guess,
her
like,
to
pop
understand why
off.
she reacted like that. It might lead to a good friendship if that's something you'd like. Else just to clear things up because something clearly didn't work. Someone else said, probably she's really lonely, is my guess. OP responded, when I asked her for her number, she said I was the first one to ever ask, so maybe you're right. Yeah.
I think I have the solution. I mean, he's having trouble going back to Barnes and Noble. He should just get her fired.
Oh my God.
Then, like, problem solved. He
Tell
can
her
go
her
back.
dad's blood type.
Talk to her manager and be like, I don't think she can read, dude. I don't think she can read.
No. I think, this happens sometimes. Have you ever experienced this where you try to riff with somebody and then it just,
Oh, yeah.
like, it just doesn't
All
work?
the time.
So I think that's clearly what happened.
All the time.
I think there are some instances where you, like, if it's someone that you genuinely care about their feelings, go back and make sure things are okay. It doesn't sound like they have a rapport where he needs to really, like, go out of his way. Like, that just feels like there's just certain dynamics that, like, it's okay. Like, we're all adults here. Let's just keep it trucking. We're gonna be all right. You didn't turn him gay.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, he can just go up to her and be like,
He
look.
was born.
He can go up to her. He can go up to her and be like, look, I'm sorry. I was joking. You didn't turn me gay.
Yeah.
I'm not gay. I'm just married to a man, and we have sex, and we just do it. It just cause
He said he was bisexual. Poor lady.
I don't think he needs to avoid her.
Yeah.
No.
If I'm him, it's like don't go out. I don't think he needs to go out of his way to talk to her, but I think he shouldn't fear going back. And if he sees her, he can just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that joke, by the way." Like,
Yeah, I'd be like, by the way, that was totally.
by the way, I've always been bisexual, and
Yeah.
I think also, like, there's also just a lot of stigma with bi men. So she was probably initially thrown off by
Totally.
that.
True. That
and,
too.
And, like, was probably just in her head regarding that factor as well.
yeah. There's also
She was like, he?
I'm overthinking this. I'm just digging into
Yeah.
this.
Right,
But
right.
she's talking about how, like, oh, he's the only man to ever ask her out, right? Or the first person to ever ask her
Or
out.
just ask for her number.
Story. To ask for her number in general. She's like, doesn't even date. She was like, oh, I'm thinking about dating. And then she rejected him. She seems like she really has like a lot of fears there. But in this case, what he told her is, oh, I'm gay, like, all this stuff. And she's probably thinking like, oh, so you were never even actually into me, maybe. Like, I just wonder what's going on there. It may be
He didn't say,
different.
he didn't tell her he was gay.
Oh,
He
shit,
said,
he
guys.
decided-
I need
I decided to
boots.
try.
Thanks for turning me gay, I guess.
These boots
Yeah,
were
but I would say
made
that.
for
I thought he said, I
walking.
just decided to try.
And
it
that's
out."
just
when you
what
rejected me, I
they'll
thought I'd have more
do.
luck on the guy's side, and I was right. So thank you for turning me. So she doesn't know he's like she doesn't. They didn't have a full-on
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
here. So I'm just thinking like I could see a retroactive if
Okay.
you ever date someone. And I feel like this is common where you date someone and then you later find out like, oh, they weren't straight or whatever, and you go, oh, so were they like? Am I attractive? Were they
Yeah.
actually
For
into
sure.
me? And so it just probably was a lot of information for her.
Yeah, I think I've experienced this where when I was younger, I dated a boy and then he turned out to be gay. I don't know if you've experienced that, but it's like when you're educated on the situation, it's not an insulting thing. It's
No.
really not. People are just figuring themselves at their own paces. I think if this story was an "Am I the asshole?" is definitely like a no assholes here.
Totally. No, I hope at some point he talks to her and they just like be like, hey,
Yeah,
I'll
like
chill.
if they bump into each other again, being like, "Hey, by the way, like that was supposed to be this. I'm sorry.
right.
Like I'm happy. I hope you're happy."
Yeah.
And for the record, all the men that I've dated, I knew they were gay.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to know.
That was
Sorry,
really good.
That was a dumb joke.
No, I liked it.
Our next story. Today I fucked up by drugging the bartender and ruining a wedding. Jesus.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, so this fuck up happened the summer before COVID, but I think the statute of limitations are up, so I can tell this story.
They're not.
My wife and I went to her colleague's wedding. I'm not a huge drinker and I didn't really know anyone, so my plan was to grab some sort of cold, refreshing beverage and find somewhere to post up and nurse it while I got really stoned and did some people watching, which leads me to my drugs. On the way to the wedding, I stopped at a dispensary and picked up a reusable vape pen thing. I'm a pretty traditional smoker. I go to the place and I buy an eighth and smoke it in my ancient bowl over the course of the next month or two. I'd never had a pen before. It was just like, I'm going to a wedding and want something that won't make me sleepy or mentally handicapped, and the young woman at the counter handed me the thing. As my wife was driving us over, I tried it out. I also don't smoke very much at any one time and have a hard time with anything like joints or bongs, etc. When I do smoke these things, they hit way too hard and I cough like crazy and hate myself. So I took a very small hit, noticed it hit really hard, and thought, well, that's because you think everything hits too hard. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm at the reception, standing in line to grab some drinks from the bartender and notice the tip jar. Realizing I don't have any cash, I'm like, dude, do you have Venmo or something? I know, LOL. And he's like, don't even worry about it, man. It's no big deal. But I'm a service industry vet, so I wanted to find a way to tip him because I know it's going to be a long night and a lot of people won't tip. So I'm like, all right, man, well, if my wife has some cash, I'll double back over. But in the meantime, if you party, and I show him the pen. He's like, oh, for real? Hell yeah, dude. And he proceeds to take an enormous puff on this thing.
Oh.
Within seconds, he was doubling over and coughing uncontrollably. It was incredibly loud, and in under a minute, he was down on his hands and knees behind the bar, puking in the grass. Still, kind of no harm, no foul, until he gets up and puts all of his weight onto a tumbler glass that was sitting on the table he used to help himself up, cutting his hand open so badly. And then something very interesting happened, something that had never happened before. I started vomiting at the sight of the blood. So naturally, this is pretty disruptive, and the groom, who just so happened to be nearby, comes over to see what's going on and fucking faints the second he sees this guy's hand.
Oh no!
Smashing his head on the bar/table on the way down, his face taking the tablecloth and everything on the table down with him.
This is a rom-com.
Yeah. Totally unmitigated disaster. Both of them had to go to the hospital, and the bride was understandably super upset and screaming at the caterers. So I decided, well, it's been a good life, and began to march over to explain to her what happened when out of her mouth comes a series of very specific slurs directed at the owner of the catering company. I didn't get a single word out of my mouth before she said, sue me, turned on her heel, and told her people to just round their shit up and go. Cue major shitstorm. Everyone is fighting with everyone, and almost all of the guests left. I told my wife what happened on the drive home, and she said I should call the catering company and apologize, which I did, and the owner laughed for about 30 seconds on the phone before saying, well, whatever, that bitch.
Oh!
So, yeah. Edit, I actually think it was a wine glass. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
This was a Rube Goldberg machine that led to racism.
Yeah, yeah.
Or so racism or
Wow.
homophobia. We're not sure which phobia it
Wow.
led to.
So,
but,
so the TLDR is, got my bartender high, bada bing, bada boom.
slurs.
The
Slurs.
bride is racist.
Slurs.
Okay, because my takeaway is this: the universe needed a moment, you know, and this OP happened to be the vehicle. Okay, and I'm just like, as long as the catering company was okay, because that sucks. I wouldn't want the bartender to lose their job. Da 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 da.
Bada bing, bada
This
boom.
bada bing bada boom. This chain of events exposed the bride for being a POS. Sounds like, and
Yeah. You know, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I like to think how I'm imagining this is the groom fell over, hits the table, and then a marble rolls, and then it hits
Yeah.
the thing, and it starts to blow up a balloon. That pops, and then a race car goes along the track.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy, bro.
it's just nuts, man.
And
What
like
did you
there's definitely no excuse for slurs. I want to
No.
preface that. I
No,
but,
we here
like,
at Smosh deliver that message.
I think it's obviously a very high stress time, and yeah, I could see why there would be an explosion of emotions.
I think it went the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
Why was she yelling at the
slurs?
caterers for the bartender getting sick? And like,
Yeah.
if I were to like just throw up and then it caused someone else to get her, I'm like, I'm a demon now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it just seems like she got mad
Yeah.
Also-
in the wrong direction in the wrong way.
Also, the guy like sustained like a serious injury,
Yeah.
and you're gonna cuss him out. Like, help the guy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I understand her emotion. I understand being devastated and stuff. It's still like she
Yeah.
did kind of in those moments is when you reveal who you
Yes,
are. And she did.
exactly.
But I'm just laughing at this guy's perspective where he sees this whole chain of events happen.
Yeah.
And then he sees it disrupt into chaos.
Yeah.
And then everyone leaves and he's just like, okay.
Yeah. All because of a freaking
It's
tank of
literally-
a vape pen.
It's literally that scene
Jeez.
from Dumb and Dumber when they accidentally kill the owl. And they're just
Oh,
like,
yeah,
damn,
sure.
this party died. Like, it's,
Yeah, bro.
I ultimately think this comes down to, the bartender shouldn't have been smoking weed on the job.
I
like-
also think it's a little bit weird that why was OP trying so hard to like
Guilt.
yeah, like if you ask for a Venmo, I think that's really nice of you. And then if they're like, don't worry about it, man, like being like, okay, well, if my wife has something, that's where it can end. You don't need to offer
Yeah.
drugs to the bartender.
Also, the way he offered it was the most fed question ever. Do you party?
Do you party,
Yeah,
dude?
if you party, let me know. And then I'm surprised that the bartender was like, sick, yeah. Like everybody was fully had a moment to say
Yeah.
no. Like
Yeah.
wild.
Comments. Crazy all of that could have been avoided if you just had $1 in your pocket.
For real. For real.
Yeah.
Whenever you're going to a wedding or any event,
Yeah.
bring some cash.
Yep.
Bring cash.
Someone said, OP is a deity of pure chaos. Use a vape to nearly kill 2 men while ruining a wedding. What a legend. OP responded, I think I already said it in another comment, but my wife likes to joke around about how I'd be a really good assassin.
Oh my God.
Someone said, I was an event bartender in college. I asked my manager why we were allowed to serve every kind of liquor except for tequila at wedding receptions. And she told me that a few years back, before I started, she worked her first wedding. Her reception was fine. People were drunk, but it was average wedding drunk, until the best man barrels in and starts mocking the groom for not knowing that he, the best man, banged her, the bride, before the couple got together. Groom is pissed, the bride hears commotion and comes over and starts accusing the best man of lying. Best man loses it and decides the best course of action is to punch the bride in the face so hard that she flew into the table behind her. Bride went to the hospital and I'm assuming he was arrested. But when the couple came down the next day to leave for their honeymoon, she had 2 black eyes and a massive bandage on her broken
Oh my
nose.
goodness.
So yeah, we stopped serving tequila at weddings after that. Oh,
What
Damn.
in the
Come on. It's
world?
not tequila. It's just alcohol.
You
I
just
hate when
no,
people
you
make-
blacklist the person who punched a woman.
yeah, no, that's a person who's going to prison. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully.
I hate when people make an exception for tequila. They're like, I remember I was talking to some older lady. She was like, oh, tequila makes my pants fall off. I can't have that.
What in the
And I was
world?
like- Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God. See, it's like I would be curious of like what if a bartender or any kind of company could monitor and be like, hey, these nights where we sold more tequila, more bullshit happened, like statistically. Just like hospitals, how it's statistically proven that like the emergency room is way more crazy on a full moon.
I think because people tend to do shots of tequila. That would be my guess.
There have been studies on what alcohol does is it elevates whatever situation you are in. So in a lot of places, people are at a quiet pub, like drinking. It's not going to cause chaos every time. But yeah, it's like what situations are people drinking tequila in
Yeah.
as opposed to drinking wine? Like people
Yeah.
get wine drunk, but you're in a setting where you're all quiet and
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But people are drinking tequila in situations that are chaotic often.
Weddings, and they
Yeah.
tend to be prone for that. Like when we did our family reception, we didn't have any hard alcohol just because we were like, that's not our vibe. That's just not
Yeah,
the vibe.
yeah.
So.
I think liquor in general is dangerous because you get drunk quick,
Yes.
and so you're not.
Mhm.
It's not a slow thing.
Yeah.
Today's Red Stories is brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes home cooking fun, easy, and affordable thanks to their farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered right to your door. It makes it so much easier. You get to cut out searching online for the right recipe, going to the grocery store and picking out ingredients. Sometimes you have to buy a whole jar for just 1 tablespoon that you need for the recipe. It just is all delivered right to your door at the right portions that you need for that recipe, and it's so delicious. Plus, they have tons of options. They've got fit and wholesome, vegetarian, family-friendly, quick and easy, anything to suit your needs, and you can make veggie and protein swaps. So whatever you want, they got it. We got a box sent here once, and it was amazing how quick and easy it was, and it was so delicious. Made 2 perfect portions, and it was awesome. So for free breakfast for life, go to hellofresh.com/freepitreddit. 1 free breakfast item per box while subscription is active.
Helen
That's
Walker
free
bar?
breakfast for life just
What?
by going to hellofresh.com/freepitreddit.
Also, Bippy, welcome in. How are you doing?
HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Sorry if I happened to
Back to the
miss you. I totally forgot to have
Here's our
my
next
chat
story.
open on
Today
TikTok. I just
fucked up by
opened it.
putting inane shit as my Venmo memo and having it read out loud in open court.
Huh? Okay.
Posting for my alt because I'm a whole ass business professional and am mortified by my stupidity. Today I fucked up by putting stupid inane shit as the memo for my Venmo transactions. Well, actually these transactions are spread out over 2 years. My older brothers and I try to say the most out-of-pocket stuff with our Venmo payments to try to get a laugh. Everyone does this, right? It's harmless, it's silly, until you file bankruptcy and have to meet with a trustee in open court who asks about payments made to friends and family. I answer honestly, yes, I've paid friends and family for various reasons. I provided my Venmo transaction history to you. He says, oh, let me check my records. So begins a very, very long pause. I just know he's sifting through the fan favorites, which include but are not limited to, for the discoloration of your butthole flaps, PP Tom, for the soiled adult diaper auction, butt plugs and electric shock rods, DVD, black studs, white moms, your bitch tits, remember that time you shit in the backyard, for your mother last night, kissing hands and shaking babies. I'm bright red, sinking down in my chair. My lawyer looks at me puzzled. Clearly, she didn't read these in depth. Why am I such an immature, stupid
Oh.
That's crazy. I would never think of that. But yeah, like
They're private usually.
yeah, but you have to reveal all of that.
Those are insane.
in a bankruptcy.
Those are
Yeah.
insane.
So is he gonna have to like actually figure out what those payments actually were?
Yeah.
That's such a pain. Can you remember like a Venmo you made like 2 months ago?
Well, if you title them properly,
Yeah,
then
that's what I'm
easy.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
I only do like actual transactions, like a tattoo or things with like an actual like description, but everything else I put like 2 emojis.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Like, I feel so dumb like actually saying what it is. I'll do like, oh, I guess maybe I'll do like a food emoji or something.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
emojis are always like what it was. Like it has to
Yeah.
do with it. But
Yeah.
damn,
That's rough.
maybe that's bad.
This guy's screwed.
Damn, I gotta get better at my Venmo comedy.
Some comments. Honestly, they were to my brother. I didn't think anyone else would see it. Fully explains everything. I agree. 11,000 upvotes on that. Someone said, could have been worse. Twice I've had Venmo payments flagged by the Secret Service. Once sending money to a coworker who covered the bill at a Cuban restaurant in Los Angeles.
Oh God.
Got flagged as money to Cuba. Another time, my roommate sent me money for the electric bill and put in Al Qaeda dirty bomb as the comments. Jeez.
It's funny to me because it's something I could see myself doing and not realizing it could get me in trouble.
Jesus. Money to ISIS.
That's what I was
Fuck.
thinking. That was my first thought was that it was going to be ISIS. Okay.
God, just ISIS. Someone said, as a bankruptcy attorney, there's no way in hell that I would have kept a straight face in court. But for what it's worth, we see worse. Don't sweat it.
Mm.
Yeah, they see actual bad payments.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So this
those,
is like,
those, but real. Damn.
yeah, I guess it's just tough because don't those descriptions help like whether those were, you know, dodgy business transactions or
Probably
not?
depends on the amounts.
Probably.
You know, if there's small amounts, then it's like, okay, we can probably.
Yeah.
But if it's more than $500 and it's like some ridiculous thing, it's like they're gonna probably want to know what that was.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's not butt plugs.
Yeah, unless it's a lot of them. Who knows? Unless he was running a butt plug business,
Right.
he's filing for bankruptcy.
Which is totally fine.
So apparently someone did some research and clocked that one of the Venmo payments was, remember that time you shit in the backyard? OP actually had a Reddit post from when that happened. It was, today I f***ed up by going poo in the backyard in the rain.
Oh my
Wow.
So
God.
that Venmo request was real,
Yeah.
which makes me
So-
believe that all the rest are real
Incredible.
as well.
True. Okay.
All right. Moving on. This next one, this title rocks. I'm excited for this one.
God.
Today I f***ed up by sitting through my friend's orgy.
Sitting through?
Sitting through my friend's orgy.
And so you fucked up by doing that. Okay.
Yeah, I f***ed up by sitting through my friend's orgy.
Okay.
Okay. So yesterday, my friends, 2 couples plus 1 single guy, and I went to brunch to go day drinking. And we ended up drinking a lot. It was all-you-can-drink mimosas brought out with the big old bottle of champagne and orange juice / cranberry juice, and they really stayed on top of bringing more out.
Whoa.
Hell
As a
yeah.
group, we typically drink a lot when we do go out on weekends, but not so early in the day. Or at least, if we do start early, it's way more paced, not against the clock of when brunch ends. We did also eat brunch, but still, it was a crazy amount of drinking in a short amount of time. We ended up back at my friend's place, who was way more drunk than I usually see him, like on the verge of falling asleep, and he was laying down on the couch. I honestly can't remember what started everything off. I think it might have just been relatively normal when my friend and his girlfriend started kissing, and the other couple was kissing, although as couples, they've both never been big on public displays, at least in front of me. The other girl has always been fairly open. I've heard stories of her getting naked in front of the group, etc. before. Eventually, the 2 girls kissed, and then my friend / his girlfriend were making out hot and heavy, and he was feeling her up. The other girl was kissing her boyfriend while the single guy was fingering her, which led to him eating her out. Anyway, without going into too many more details,
That escalated.
without going into too many details here, guys.
Also, just the 5th wheel just be like, shoop, like kind of crazy.
Without going into too many more details, my up was that I had drank too much to just leave to drive home. And my car was there, so I couldn't really Uber home and just leave my car without it being a huge ordeal. And I didn't know what else to do but watch. At one point, the other girl encouraged me to jump in, but I declined, saying my own girlfriend wasn't there to say it was okay or join in herself. We were supposed to go to the pool to continue partying, so part of me was hoping this would all end and we'd move on to the pool like nothing happened. But I was just kind of shocked at it all and was watching it all go down drunk in awe, and certain points going on my phone.
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome.
At certain points going on just like,
Oh my God. Don't take your phone out during an orgy.
just playing Candy Crush. The way my friend's house is, there was nowhere else to really go that guests would go, so I couldn't like go to a different room and watch TV. I kind of feel weird about it now, like I was a creep in the room or something, even though I waited as long as I thought I needed to and there was nothing else for me to do, like just walk around randomly outside drunk, to finally safely leave and drive home.
That's the end?
That's the end.
Bro.
Wow.
No, mister.
Yeah. First of all, I don't believe this story happened, but I think this is a lie to some degree.
I feel like this is something that I could get myself into.
I definitely, okay, actually, I say it's a lie. I
Like
say
just
it's a
being
lie.
like,
I think it's not a lie, but I think this guy is lying to himself as to why he couldn't leave the room.
Yeah, I think
like there
so.
was, if
That's
you were
fair.
genuinely like uncomfortable or like like I've never been in an orgy, so I don't know. But like you can go if they're going into an orgy. You're allowed to go in another bedroom and sit
Yeah.
somewhere if you're uncomfortable or need to or want to give them privacy, and you can walk outside. This is
yeah.
We're
I think,
Yeah,
beings,
you
we
can
can
definitely
use
go
our legs.
outside.
I think he was probably enjoying watching.
I think he's making up
Which
his
is-
excuses and being like, well, I felt like a creep. It's like, yeah, maybe, but you
he's-
chose that life.
And he was drunk. He was very drunk, so his logic's not all there. I do think it's a little fucked up that everyone just did this.
Yeah,
like, it is kind of like a consenting situation.
very much
And when you just start
so.
doing that, like in front of people, you are kind of like,
With no communication
but they are
whatsoever.
all super drunk. Because like from what I've heard from like what people have described, like orgies, the way that they start and the way they operate is honestly kind of like very, like massive amounts of communication.
Right.
Like you need to like set that shit up.
sign on.
This is a bunch of drunk people who just were doing drunk things.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like
it's a little fucked up. I feel bad for the guy. I also am like, if I'm this guy's girlfriend, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be extremely uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, him being like, well, she's not here to tell me it's okay to join in, so you're gonna stay and watch.
And
That's
he's not
still
even
being
he's-
involved,
and not even
bro.
not even saying that he's texted her or called her.
Yeah, been like,
Exactly.
hey.
I had to go.
Exactly.
I I can tell you exactly what I would do in this situation. As soon as it before it got to anywhere near where it was, I'd be like, I'm gonna step outside and I would call you and I'd be like, I think an orgy is happening in there. I think an orgy is beginning.
As soon as two couples start making out, I'm like, this is not the room I should be in. Like that is simply.
No, you know what actually proves your point? Okay, you have your car there. Call your girlfriend, tell her to Uber there, and you both leave with
Drive
your
home,
car.
or
He's
take
not
a walk.
trying.
But he talked about how they thought they were going to go to the pool later. So
They're not going to the pool. They're
you
not
never know.
either.
You never know.
Do you think like every 5 minutes he's like, hey guys, when are we going to the pool?
They're like, I feel like you're just here for the pool later.
He's sitting there in his swim trunks and floaties on his arms. I'm ready when you guys are.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely they're I'm sure everyone in that room was consenting, but the issue is this guy's girlfriend, she wasn't looped into this.
Well, let's talk about enthusiastic consent. This OP, he declined being involved, but and then there was someone who was so drunk that they were falling asleep. That's true.
It's a very sketchy situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's maybe these people were so drunk and this has never happened before, and so there was a lot of weird, wild things going on. But if this is about OP and we're talking about OP, I think he was trying to backpedal and explain himself out as to why this was all okay. But I definitely would think that the girlfriend would be upset, and
totally, I think she has every right to be upset.
Yeah, because I think OP might be a little freak, which is okay, but he needs to obtain consent for that kind of stuff.
Right.
I think it's a very upsetting situation because you're even though you didn't physically take part in it, you're kind of a part of it by sitting there.
No, he is a part of it.
Yeah, you're a part of it. So he's gonna call his partner and be like, hey, so I kind of was part of this thing. It's gonna be very uncomfortable, and I if I'm her, I'm probably breaking up with him.
Well, and his explaining to me it just sounds like he's trying to say he had no other choice.
Yeah.
But because he was saying they had plans that they were going to continue later, he didn't have a way to get home, but as an adult, you have a lot of ways to get out of that situation. And so, I think him saying today I fucked up by sitting through means he fucked up and doing this kind of to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just think if you really want to get out of a situation, you can get out of a situation.
Right. And there are kosher ways to be in the situation, as you're saying. But buddy, you can go outside. I'm pretty sure that as these people are having an orgy in the living room, you're allowed to go into the main bedroom and have a little sit. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'd be leaving, but
yeah, but
I'd be
you said, maybe he's a little freak. He wanted to be there, but don't lie to yourself, buddy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
but even if you're a little freak, you need to use communication.
Yeah,
you're
a little
need
freak.
to set this situation needs to be set up.
Yeah.
Because also the next day amongst these people who are very drunk, it could cause a shitstorm where one of them's like, I actually did not want to do that. And then then you were there and now you're also part of it. I think you get out of that situation for safety reasons.
Yeah.
And I do think so was the friend that was so drunk that they were falling asleep, did they wake up and get involved? Was that it?
The fifth wheel.
That was the fifth wheel.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so funny to be like, what's going on? What?
I mean, I think if that started happening, I would also wake up.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that would sober me up real quick.
Yeah.
Comments, orgy going on in front of him, and he's thinking, does this mean we're not going swimming? Someone said, could have been a corner man, encouraging, giving water, a towel, maybe some ice to cool down, and some strategy.
Yeah.
Someone said, I remember a time when we went to. Where we went to Niagara Falls, and I went back to the hotel early. I'm in bed watching Family Guy, and my friend comes in with a girl and goes to the other bed. I make a joke, and they start f***ing. My other buddy was walking around the hotel waiting for them to finish, and I'm just hanging out in my bed while they're laughing and watching Family Guy. I was later asked, why didn't you leave? Simple response, I was there first, I'm not leaving.
Bro, come on.
Please, then talk about it. Don't wait. Jesus Christ, these people, they will do everything but walk out of a room that people are having sex in.
I mean, it was Family Guy.
Yeah.
But it's
That's crazy.
No, it's all messy. It's all messy.
No, it definitely didn't sound like what I've heard about orgies that are like more organized. Like there's a lot more communication, and it's not like this like anarchy, like sex anarchy.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
people are like communicating and like talking about like, hey, I want to try this. Let's try this. Like it's
Yeah.
very. So I don't know. This all sounded like it was very on the fly, and people just were not thinking clearly.
No.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and I too have never been to an orgy, but I know at like parties, sex
Yeah.
parties,
Sex
like
parties.
you have to obtain consent to watch.
Enthusiastic.
Like
consent,
if you're gonna like you can't just show up and just be like,
yeah,
Right.
bro, it's weird.
Yeah, this is messy as hell. Anyways, moving on from that one. Today I fucked up by putting tampons in wrong for 10 years.
What? Huh?
sideways.
Well,
Okay. I feel so embarrassed. I, a 23-year-old woman, have had my period for more than 10 years now, and I just learned from a Reddit post of all places that you are not supposed to just shove the whole thing, applicator and all, up there and then leave it like that.
oh no.
I have a biochemistry degree. I have traveled the world, and yet somehow I have never figured this one out. This is my first and probably last Reddit post because I cannot keep my horror at the fact that I've been keeping pieces of plastic in my vagina for 10 years inside, but I absolutely cannot fathom telling anyone I know about this. I have always thought that tampons were super uncomfortable for reasons that are now glaringly obvious, and mostly used pads, but I love swimming, and so I use tampons fairly frequently during the summer.
Oh man.
As best as I can figure, I have used hundreds of tampons in this way. I have been scouring my brain, but I don't think that anyone ever told me about this, despite the multiple wildly uncomfortable health classes I had to take in grade school.
Ugh.
The worst part is that I knew the plastic bit was called the applicator. I just figured that was because it made putting it in easier and you were just supposed to leave it in. Thank you, Redditors, for listening, and I can only hope that this horrifying blunder of mine will convince you to explain very clearly to your children how tampons work.
Yeah.
This is why we need sex education.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
don't blame yourself. You don't know what
That's
you don't know.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
I was just telling stories the other day about like even though I had 3 older sisters, I was so undereducated and learned a lot of things way too late, or like even when there was opportunities to learn, like the communication around it was so unhealthy and not normal that like you just don't learn shit. So I very much feel for this person,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they shouldn't be so hard on themselves.
I've seen a lot of Reddit posts by nurses talking about the shocking things they see where people come in pregnant or just in regards to questions they're asking about sex where it's like, wow, you really genuinely didn't know. Like I've heard stories where they were like they thought they couldn't get pregnant if they weren't married. Like they
Awesome.
thought
Ugh.
that it didn't work unless they were married. Like
Cool.
it's shocking. And it's hard to believe when you are someone who has had any general like education on it, or at least in like through time. But there are people out there who truly are. It's so kept away from them. You know, it's like they teach abstinence.
Yeah.
They teach abstinence, and then they're not going to teach you anything else because the whole idea is just don't have sex.
No, and
Yeah.
it's so unfortunate that like you don't choose where you're born. You're placed into a school system that you're like
Could
you
go
are
on
told to
TikTok
trust
and
the
talk,
people who have
but I
the authority over
refuse.
you. You're supposed to trust
It
what they're
refuses
teaching
to
you.
bring up my
And
keyboard to
then
type.
you are
Oh,
out in the world
love
as
that.
an adult doing those things, and like it sucks that you have to, as an adult, be vigilant and be like, well, certain things might not have been right. I need to like look into certain things for myself. Like that sucks to live in a world like that.
And sometimes you don't even know to look for those things.
Exactly, you don't know what you don't know.
Because there's like so
Yeah.
much stigma around it that nobody's gonna ever talk
Well,
about
and also
it.
people are certain they're right, so they don't think they need to because
Yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, I know, and
And-
even though they don't.
And it's like the shame of like being afraid of asking a question that makes you look stupid.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was always, it was so disappointing as a student when teachers would like react to a question as if it was stupid. And like one day I heard a substitute being like, there's no such thing as a stupid question. And that stuck with me for like till today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Damn.
Comments on this. In OP's defense, I've had a ton of instances of going, wait, this isn't how everyone else experiences random thing. In my case, I thought apples genuinely caused extreme gum, mouth, and throat discomfort to everyone, and I was just a big old baby for not being able to push through it and like apples like everyone else. At 26 years of age, in a college class, someone overheard me commiserating with someone else about the itch and yelled, Did you know that means you have an allergy? Why no? No, I didn't. In retrospect, it explains a lot, LMAO. So yeah, fully possible to assume that the normal tampon experience is very slippy and uncomfortable. My experience with them was really itchy and uncomfortable. OP never used the tampon instructions as bathroom reading material. I never thought to try organic tampons. Both of us have a oh shit moment embarrassingly late in life that no, most people do not in fact have that experience with tampons. RIP OP. Do you guys have anything like that?
Ugh.
Something that you know? I know a big one on TikTok was people realizing their air filters, like the filter on the inside was still wrapped in plastic.
Oh yeah.
Like for when you
Oh,
got
yeah,
it
I've
shipped,
seen that,
and they take it
yeah.
out and they're like, I've used this thing for 2 years and it's been wrapped in plastic this whole time. Like
Yeah.
not realizing. A lot of times with appliances and things, realizing.
Yeah, or like realizing that you can take out a part of an AC unit and like wash it under the sink, let it dry, and put it back in.
Yeah.
I didn't know balls were supposed to be on the outside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you get to keep. You get to hide yours.
Yeah, I've just been keeping them up inside the whole time.
There you go.
You've been tucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've told this one before. I don't know what age I was, but it was like later. Like I was maybe like 8 to 10 years old, and I vividly remember as like a child, I thought everyone had a penis.
Oh yeah, my brother's
Oh,
the same way.
yeah.
I remember my brother had a poster of Cindy Crawford, or wait, is that the from the 90s? Her in a swimsuit, and I remember looking at it and looking at like
Where's the penis?
looking at the crotch region, being like, "That's crazy! Like that, where is her penis? Like, like that's strange. That's
Yeah.
odd to me." So I remember that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Other comments. This is why tampons come with instructions. I'm honestly impressed they still did the job.
Yeah, like did she go 10 years going like, damn, why don't tampons work for me very well?
That's what I was wondering.
I guess she figured it worked good enough the first time.
Yeah, maybe because like the way I'm seeing it is the applicator was used, but then so it was still like the cotton and then the applicator like this. So it was just like a cork,
Oof.
but like not a very functioning cork.
Yikes.
But that sucks.
Lastly, someone said, if it makes you feel any better, my partner used to just put the tampon horizontal on there, not inside at all.
Just like she was like sitting on a.
Yeah.
That's funny.
She was also a swimmer, so I don't know how she didn't figure it out, to be honest. Someone said, like a hot dog.
Yeah, like just sitting on a hot dog. I think if you're an athlete, if you're like if you're a swimmer, if you're like really, really active, you're really light periods. So it's very possible that it just was never a problem.
Yeah, I am nowadays I'm very obsessed whenever there's nothing really comparable to this, but whenever I get anything new or with anything I'm doing, I love to be like research exactly how to do it properly. Like I do look through instructions on things.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like sometimes descriptions just aren't specific enough
Totally.
where it's like even if she knew like to use it,
Yeah.
she never saw like something that said like make sure to take the applicator
That's true.
out or something. Like who knows?
It's the obvious things that sometimes get
Yeah, over time too.
overlooked.
Crazy.
All right, it's time for our last story, and this title is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Today I f***ed up by showing my dick to my wife's grandparents.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, what'd they say?
Well, was it a nice? I'm sorry. sorry.
Well, her grandparents were having an orgy, and okay. So my wife and I have a very lighthearted relationship, and I like to joke around all the time with her and make her laugh. I do dumb things all the time to make her roll her eyes and call me an idiot jokingly. I was outside barbecuing with headphones on while sipping a beer and listening to music. I look over and see my wife walking outside holding her phone up, obviously recording me or taking a pic. I instinctively pulled my shorts down and started doing the helicopter. She immediately looked mortified and turned around quickly and went back inside. I was very confused at her face, so I finished flipping burgers quickly, then went inside to find her with her head in her hands on the couch with her face red. I asked her what was wrong, and she told me she was video chatting with her grandparents, which
Oh my God!
which she never did before, and showing them around our home and showing them me barbecuing. I have never met them before and have only seen pictures.
Oh,
To say I'm
no.
embarrassed is an understatement.
Oh my God! But like, did they
Wow.
laugh?
Maybe they have bad vision. Maybe they didn't know.
Maybe
She's
maybe
like,
the,
and
maybe it
he's-
was bad Wi-Fi since she was coming out. Maybe the pixels were so low.
Yeah. The brightness.
I imagine that she was just like zoomed in and she was like on the grill zooming in and then like down to the
Wow.
That
Like a
is
hot dog.
probably the worst way to display a penis to somebody for the first time.
Oh boy!
Just the full-on helicopter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
Jeez.
Have y'all ever done that?
Shown my.
Well, there's
wiener
no other
my-
way to barbecue.
Helicopter to
No, you
someone as
gotta-
a display.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
But not.
That's how you
Well,
scare away
Barb-
mountain lions.
That's how you scare it. Hey bear! Hey,
Hey, bear. It's like, whoa.
It's how you get mosquitoes away from the food. you
Yeah, they
know?
think it's a dragonfly whipping
Yeah.
around.
If you're stranded on a lake on a boat, it's how you.
Oh,
Yeah. like in The Incredibles when he's.
Yeah.
It's like,
They actually teach this all in sex ed.
Yeah.
This is why
All
sex
the
ed is so
valuable ways
important.
to use your
That's how you do
penis.
it.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Some comments. Assuming they were video chatting on a phone, they probably couldn't see much anyway.
Hopefully.
Someone said asserting dominance, one meat at a time. And someone else said, did they approve?
Did they approve?
Did they
said,
approve?
Did
Like
they?
that suits our daughter.
I'm assuming because of the wife's reaction that maybe the problem is with old people, like maybe they just didn't, it came across like they were just trying to ignore it, but maybe they were genuinely just confused.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're FaceTiming grandparents, they're like not even looking at the screen half the time. It's just like you just
Yeah.
kind of see their eyes a little bit, and they're
Yeah.
like, it takes them like way longer to look at other stuff on the screen.
They're probably there being like, oh, that's nice. And so that she doesn't realize they maybe had no idea.
Yeah, and yeah, like maybe the Wi-Fi, the pixels weren't ideal.
Yeah, that's the hope.
So,
She could just tell them she got hacked.
yeah.
You know, like it was a deep fake.
That was AI.
Yeah.
exactly. And let's go. Oh, okay. What's AI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Damn.
Wow. Have
Okay.
you ever done that?
I mean, I guess I haven't, but I guess I know now.
Y'all ever mooned someone?
Always, before you go to helicopter, always
Say-
make sure.
Yeah, say, may I helicopter?
May I helicopter?
Okay, may I helicopter here. Well, out of all these, what do you think is the most embarrassing?
Oof. I would be very embarrassed of my reputation in the orgy story if people didn't want me watching them and I was just watching them. I would be embarrassed to be that person.
I think that's I'm not uncomfortable by sex at all, but that would be probably the last situation I'd want to be in out of all these.
Yeah, and then like the bookstore story, I'm like, that's okay. Like you tried to riff, it didn't
Yeah.
land. The tampon thing, I'm like, girl, you and probably 30% of women, like, or anybody with periods, and then that last one, honestly, win.
Yeah.
The one that I would want to be around for, I mean, I don't like when people get hurt, but the wedding
wedding.
situation, I mean, there are people who are very uncomfortable when things get tense or when things get crazy. I'm someone who's like, okay,
Yeah, if you get to just sit back and watch.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, I would be just like, ooh.
I can't look at people throwing up, so I probably would
No,
have
the
to-
throwing up and people getting hurt, I'd be like, oh shit. Like, but
Yeah,
the chaos
and a chain reaction and fighting and explosion.
No, if I was ever at, every wedding I've been to has always been great. I've had
Same.
very good track record. But if I was at a wedding where like a fight broke out or like people are yelling at each other, like just yelling, not physical fighting, but just like, oh
Just like
shit,
free TV.
drama's happening, I would be like, this is my favorite wedding I've ever been to.
I think of all the stories I want to be involved in, the orgy one sounds the most fun. Like to be like, hey, like, do you guys need like a DJ? Like,
Yo, should I put on some gaga?
yeah,
Some
like, what are you guys
gaga.
feeling right now? Like, maybe some jazz or like, I don't know,
Any
like,
communication would have been ideal.
Literally
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
anything would have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah,
He's just on his phone being like,
and there wasn't even music already going, so it was just sex sounds and then like TikToks,
yeah,
like going
he's on
by.
his phone. He's on his phone. He's like, "Did you guys see that break dancer at the Olympics?"
yeah,
Yeah, it's like
just trying to show them
Yeah.
videos. Hey, you guys
Dude,
seen
check out this TikTok. Dude.
like tired of the ads.
I just started reading knock knock jokes to them.
Oh my
That'd be funny.
God.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
That wedding story reminds me of that one time when we were in Sacramento after a shoot, like really early in the Smosh days. I think it was you, me, Olivia, Keith, and Noah sitting and like eating breakfast or something. We were flying out, or it was after a shoot. And there was a couple fully fighting at a table nearby, and we were all just like quiet. And you were like, I think that if a couple chooses to have a fight in public, I'm allowed to watch.
Yeah.
Like we were all
That's
just
fair.
tired, and you were like, I'm allowed to watch.
I'm allowed to watch. Like, it is entertainment now.
There are two adults choosing to have a full-on fight in public. I'm allowed to watch.
No, you have to obtain consent. You just walk up to him. Hey, do you guys mind if I like?
May I helicopter?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Seems like you guys need.
Okay.
Seems like you guys need something silly.
Thank you both for being here. This was very
Thank
fun.
you.
And thank you for watching. Let us know what other themes and subreddits you'd like to see on this show. And we'll see you next Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
Don't be embarrassed.
Mom.
Don't be embarrassing.
Don't be embarrassed or embarrassing.
Get some beans.
Like the fact that they were like able to communicate and really like share their feelings and stuff like that, and the point was, you know, that her feelings are valid, but feelings are always valid but not always reasonable.
Yeah.
And I think that is maybe where the gap was, and it sounds like she is completely forthcoming with that. She is like, I reacted, this is why I felt like that. The feelings, again, they made sense in the moment, but my logic of maybe why I was feeling that probably didn't
Totally.
land as well.
This episode of Red Stories is brought to you by ZocDoc. In life, there are highs and lows, and one of those lows is scheduling doctor's appointments. But it doesn't need to be that much of a bummer because ZocDoc makes it easier than ever. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. Look, I have the app. It's so streamlined and easy to navigate. You just search for doctors of whatever you need, and they're going to show you within any mile range that you want. So you can find ones that are super close by and look through their schedules. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/pitreddit to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/pitreddit. ZocDoc.com/pitreddit. This episode of Red Stories is also brought to you by Factor. It's the fall season, and just because it's getting colder doesn't mean you have to put an end to your summer wellness goals. You can keep it going with Factor. They make eating healthy, delicious meals so easy, delivered straight to your door and ready in just 2 minutes. They've got 6 different menu preferences, depending on whether you're trying to avoid meat, you're trying to eat a lot of protein, whether you're anything you're trying to do, they can fit your needs. And they have over 35 meal options with 60 different add-ons. So you're always going to be able to try something different every week. And they are all so good and very healthy. So if you're interested, head to factormeals.com/pitreddit50 and use code pitreddit50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code pitreddit50 at factormeals.com/pitreddit50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Back to the show. Next story comes from Relationship Advice. I, a 28-year-old woman, received the dreaded "Hey girl" text after 2.5 years with my boyfriend, who's 29. Now what? Does that mean like a cheating situation? I'm
Hey
assuming.
girl?
Like,
Hey
hey girl, your partner.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. My boyfriend, who's 29, and I, a 28-year-old woman, have been together roughly 2.5 years, living together for the past year. Yesterday, I received the dreaded "Hey girl" message on Instagram, and I'm so insanely confused and just unsure what to do with myself. Details of what happened. The other morning, he got a follow request on Instagram from a girl I believe he's been with in the past, and immediately slid into her DMs 100% flirtatiously. They switched to text, exchanged nudes, then had random casual chit-chat continued for the rest of the evening. At 6 a.m. the next morning, he fessed up to her that he had a girlfriend and it was a mistake. He didn't know what he was thinking and that he was sorry. This girl then found me on Instagram and immediately sent me all the screenshots and apologized for not knowing. This all happened yesterday morning, and now I am stuck in a constant state of flip-flopping between anger, frustration, sadness, and numbness. When I found out, I immediately confronted him, and we spent hours talking, arguing, and crying. He says he's never done it before and immediately regretted it, which is apparent, but I just don't know what to do from here. I've always told him I only have 2 deal breakers. You put your hands on me or in someone else and it's over. But it just doesn't feel fair to blow up my life and end everything out of nowhere like this. At the moment, we are taking it day by day. Where do we go from here? Push through? Throw it all out the window? Help.
Woof.
Okay, so let me just make sure. He slid into her DMs 100% flirtatiously. They switched to text, exchanged nudes, then had random casual chit chat continued for the rest of the evening.
Okay.
At 6 a.m. the next morning, he fessed up to her, saying, I have a girlfriend, it was a mistake.
Okay, so this happened to me.
What?
Yeah. Except I was okay, so this happened like years ago, but it was on my birthday a few years ago. And this guy that I knew for years, who was a few years older than me, like late around like 1 or 2 a.m., started texting me. And it was like
Pretty good.
all of like the words were like, scrambled. He was very obviously drunk. And he was in a relationship. And he fully was just like, I'm in love with you. Like, I'm very attracted to you. Like, all of this stuff. And I immediately responded just being like, I'm not interested. Like, I know that you're in a relationship. Like, I completely like turned him down. And he persisted in the text. Like, it was very, very adamant. And then the next morning, I logged on and him and his girlfriend got engaged. And I slid into her DMs and I said, hey, girl, there's something you need to know. And I sent her the entire thread. I was like, here's everything, like, take a look. And she was like, thanks for telling me, like, don't worry, like, we've talked about it, like, we're gonna deal with this. It's like, it's totally fine, no worries. And they are married. They are still together. So
the night before you propose to your girlfriend, you get plastered and tell a different person that you're in love with them, and then go on and still get married. That's crazy.
isn't that wild?
That's
God.
crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
This was like at least 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I was in college. Isn't that crazy?
Jeez.
I'll show you guys photos.
That's insane, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Well, hey, I'm glad you sent those messages.
Oh my
Even
god.
though they
Yeah.
stayed together, like that's
Yeah.
I do think that's the right thing to do.
Oh,
Especially when you see they're engaged, it's like, okay.
No, definitely so. I remember texting all of my friends too, like in our friend group, and I was like, you guys are never gonna believe what just happened. Again, like I don't know if he like remembers it or whatever, but pretty sure I still have the entire thread.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So 100 likes and I'll drop it.
Holy shit. Yeah. This video gets 1 like. And this guy didn't even sound like he was drunk.
No.
This story, he's fully, and it's not just one decision. It's a bunch of decisions he made. He made decisions for hours on end.
Totally.
It also seemed like a snap thing. It wasn't like something where it was like, yeah, I'd been like talking to this person as a friend for a while. It was like he got a follow request and he's like, time to slide in.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything that took like
Yes.
deliberating on
Yeah.
his part.
Yeah. This is, she's debating on whether she should break up with him or not. She's like, oh, should I throw my whole life out the window? I'm like, you guys don't have kids. You're not married. Like, you're not throwing your whole life out the window.
No.
He threw everything out the window. I've talked about it before. I know cheating is a really hot topic, like with people. Like people have really strong stances on it. I know I have a strong stance on it. Like for me, I've always said that if something like this were to happen, I'm like, it's not even just a thing where I'm like, here's my moral rule, and I'm out because I've deemed it bad. I'm like, I don't think I can move on. I think my trust is broken, and relationships are built on trust. and I know I won't be able to have it, even if you will never do it again. I don't know that.
Mhm.
The rest of our relationship is now a gamble where I have seen proof that you can do this thing. So it's kind of hard. In studies in psychology and like reports from therapists, there have been cases where affairs and cheating happen and people can work through it, but it is a lot of work. And the thing that I've heard that I agree with is like the relationship is still over. You have to start a new relationship now. It's going to be a brand new thing. You
Yeah.
kind of have to restart it. But the only situations where I feel like I see that, the only times where I would ever be on that side is if it's like you've been married a long time, you have kids, and like it truly is like can be like, oh, it was a
An
one-time
anomaly.
mistake. I still, if I put myself in those shoes, I'm like, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
But in regards to other people making that decision, it is ultimately their life and their relationship, and they're allowed to make that choice. If someone makes that choice, it's like, all right, like you can do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that early on, I think within the first 3 years, I'm just like, they're gonna do it again. Like
Yeah.
I have a hard
Yeah.
time believing they won't.
I have a few friends actually that like have had similar experiences. I have a friend that stayed with her boyfriend after he cheated the first time, and their relationship after that was not even a relationship. I mean, like they had set rules like not being around, not being on their phones around each other. And like
Yeah.
at that point, when you start like having to like police each other about like basic things that you should be able to trust, like at that point, it's like, what's the
Yeah.
point, you know?
And that's the whole thing with like, if there's no trust, you're screwed.
Right.
I do think there's the whole like cheaters are gonna cheat type of thing, and like, and I do think it's kind of true unless that person, because that's something inside. I don't think if someone cheats on you, it's because of you. Like, at least not in many situations.
Yeah.
I do think it's like there's a deep insecurity there that's causing them to do this. And if they're not really putting in a lot of work, if they're not going to therapy, if they're not really cracking that egg open and figuring out why they're making the decisions they're making in life, then you can't expect them to not make that decision again.
Yeah.
It's an extreme thing to do, to break loyalty, to break a promise of that level, that you can't just say, oh, I won't do it again. I'm like,
Right.
no, because there's something, clearly you don't have self-control over it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't trust you,
I feel like I do have empathy for the idea of wanting to stay. Like, I understand, like, yes, there's no kids or like marriage involved or anything like that, but I've said it before, like, to break up with someone, to end a relationship, for a lot of people, like, that is the biggest tragedy. That is just like, what am I going to do without this person? Especially when your partner, when your relationship is like an A, you know?
Yeah.
When it's like you're leaning on each other, and the thing that's keeping you guys together is this relationship. And that's kind of the foundation of the relationship, because if you have a stronger one that's maybe more of an H, then you guys are both standing up, and you're able to trust each other, to move past certain things like this. But if there's that idea of codependence, if there's this idea of like, without my partner, what am I? Sometimes it's a little harder to be able to walk away, even when they cross the line of infidelity.
I feel like a hot take is if a major reason you're in a relationship is your fear of being single, you need to be single. You need to work through that.
Yeah.
Because a relationship is never going to work if that's why you're in it.
Because then you'll put up with whatever.
Exactly. Some comments. It sounds like you should reflect on how important your deal breakers are to you. I know it feels like you're blowing up your life if you end things with him, but the alternative is risking undermining your own fundamental values and demonstrating that your hardline standards can be brushed off. What I'd strongly recommend is taking this time to consider for yourself. Is there anything that can be said or done by him, you, or both of you that'd help you rebuild trust? Relationships require trust, and trust is a very personal thing that varies from person to person. Figuring out whether there's even a possible path forward would be a place to start. Someone said, exchanged nudes? Honey, that is a deal breaker. He cannot be trusted. This was not a lapse in judgment, it was an intentional ask. Grab your dignity and end the relationship. Do not listen to his pleas, and you deserve so much more. Lastly, someone said, is he guilty about what he did or just sad he got caught? Consider, she told you, not him.
Whoa.
He would have lied forever, which means that, two, you can't trust him when he says it's never happened before. Seriously, if the tables were turned, would he have stayed or dumped you for cheating? You can either blow up your life now or wait to catch him cheating after he's properly tied you down. Your call. That's very true.
That part.
She did tell him. So as of the story, it's like, and if I'm her, I don't know, would he have continued this? I would think yes.
Especially to get to a place where your life would be blown up and more people, like kids, for example, would be affected as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just hard too. Like when I'm sure so many people can relate to being in a previous relationship where now you can look back and be like, what was I doing? Or like, I can't believe I stayed and stuff like that. And it's like, you got to grant yourself the grace of you didn't know, you know? It's so, it's retrospect. You can't look back and almost consider that.
Yeah, I think that's also a thing with like, and I'm trying to rack my brain for like, what's a cheating situation where I'd possibly stay. But like, if you're not hearing it from them, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just so awful. Like, you can't move on from that. And it's also the matter of putting myself in his shoes. It's like, okay, so he thought he could do this, and that you would still be willing to stay with him. Like, even by pleading and stuff, he thinks there's a world, there's some realm where you will move on and he can actually be scot-free from this. Like, I'm like, it's just disrespectful.
But he knew, like he knew, right? She said that
Yeah.
she had already said at the beginning, these are my boundaries,
And
and
he
yet
did it.
he crossed it.
Yeah. This one feels pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
And it just seemed pretty easy for him to do. Like it did
Yeah.
not, like it seemed, like it was like he was able to do it. He felt, and he's like, all right, I'm done. And he just felt like he was gonna lie about it, and he was okay with that.
Yeah, I try to keep my mind open to, there are so many different types of situations in the world. There's a lot of ways that things can play out. As far as the stories we've read here, I don't think there's been a cheating story where I'm like, well, no, they can work past this. I'm always like,
Yeah.
it's probably better to move on. you
Yeah.
know?
Exchanging nudes.
No, it's so much. It's so much.
Yeah. Now, if it was Baldur's Gate,
Yeah. If it's Karlak.
show me the dick.
Our final story comes from the subreddit Relationships and was also posted onto Best of Redditor Updates.
Whoa.
Thank God.
A year ago, I, a 27-year-old woman, broke up with my lying boyfriend, a 27-year-old man. Today, I found out that everyone else was lying and he was being truthful.
No.
I think I submitted this story.
What?
I found this story. I remember sending it to you guys.
I'm already sad.
This story is crazy. A year ago, I was about to move in with my first serious boyfriend, Josh, with whom I was head over heels in love, when one of my closest friends said that Josh had shown them a nude photo of me on his phone when he was drunk during a party. 5 or 6 more of my friends corroborated the story and told me that Josh also talked in extreme detail about our sex life when showing the photo. It was sickeningly detailed. This did not sound at all like Josh. When I asked him what the was going on, he denied everything. He eventually got very angry and started calling all of my friends liars. At one point, he showed up at my place while some of them were visiting, and things got a little physical. It was really a very strange turn of events in my life. Josh seemed so worked up, and all of my close friends were calling him a liar. Josh had taken photos of me on his phone, which I know was stupid, but heat of the moment and everything. So I trusted my friends and I broke up with Josh. It was heart-wrenching. Josh begged me to believe him. He started tearing up, nearly punched the wall, and left angrily. I was really grossed out at the time and felt super conflicted. A few months later, I started dating one of the friends, Alex, who had told me about Josh showing everyone the photo. All of my friends were pushing me to date Alex at the time. We didn't really sync, and it didn't go past a few months, but we remained friends of sorts. So today, another friend sent me a message that said he just wanted to get something off his chest. The story about Josh wasn't true, and they were really trying to get me to date Alex. So they made up that story about Josh. After talking to a few of the other people, including Alex, it's all come out that they were lying. It was this fucking orchestrated bullshit event that totally changed my life forever. Apparently, they hated Josh and thought he was bad for me and an asshole. That was my fucking decision. I'm shaking right now. I cried in the office bathroom for about 2 hours afterwards. I loved Josh so much. We were planning a life together, and I've been friends with that group since high school. What the fuck? I guess I'm supposed to stop talking to my friends, right? I cannot possibly come back from this and still talk to them, right? This basically nukes my group of friends. But how could I even look at them again? Also, I need closure with Josh. Can I call him? Should I call him? Should I unblock him on Facebook and message him? What do I do?
Oh, honey.
That's a nightmare.
Oh my God.
That's a nightmare situation. Like, because it's one of those things. When I was reading this the first time, I remember being like, oh my God, that's insane. I wish she hadn't believed them. But I'm like, if 6 of your friends corroborate a story, I would say you're stupid for not believing 6 people.
Yeah.
So it's got to be that's like a life-altering thing to have 6 people orchestrate something like that against you, because it would ruin me forever.
Yeah.
I'd never trust anyone again.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the first and most obvious answer is that they're not your friends.
No.
Mhm.
Never, ever, ever talk to them again.
Yeah.
So very clearly, that's definitely going to affect so much, because again, it's similar to the story where she was like, "This is going to blow up my life." Like, it's obviously going to hurt to lose your network, your community that you have built. These 6 close friends from high school, to have them turn on you, but it's unfortunately so clear that they are not your friends. They can never be a part of your life again.
But how devastating is that to lose a group of
Yeah.
friends like that?
I,
Devastating. No, you're right.
Yeah.
But that's so much worse than a breakup, I think.
Something similar-ish happened to me when I was in high school.
What? The
Trevor messaged me on my birthday.
Look, I'm really drunk right
Oh
now.
my God. No, I won't get
Carlac.
into
Anyways,
Oh
check
my
out this
God.
meme.
They're all connected.
No, it wasn't completely the same, but I had a group of friends, and there was one person in the group of friends that was lying to everybody else about me and things that I was doing. And so then I kind of slowly got pushed out and not invited to things, and then I didn't find out until like a year afterward what that person was saying about me. And so like for Josh is his name, I kind of can sort of feel, not obviously not as extreme, but I like that feeling for him has got to be so awful to be like, no, I was telling the truth the whole time, and like I had so much it's like so many
Oh.
shitty things happen to me because of that, and be helpless to do anything.
It's so menacing.
Yeah.
I don't get people who do that. Like, to lie, just lie about someone on that level is so wild to me.
I mean, talk about narcissism. It's like my life matters more, and my outcomes, my experiences, the way that I want my life to play out, and everybody else is just my little pawns that I get to convince and tell lies to. And then
Yeah.
people end up getting hurt in the process, and they just don't even consider it. I mean, like, even the friend group, like, even after they broke up, one friend reached out
I
and was
know.
like, "Hey, just got to get this off my chest." Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, how do
That's-
you live like that?
That's really gross, and it sucks that they were all in on it.
Mhm.
Like, I've never heard of that. I've definitely heard a lot of situations about what you went through,
Yeah.
and it always blows my mind that people do that, and it's got to be so hurtful that all the friends believed them.
Yeah. And all of them being okay with just ruining someone's like life or just completely throwing someone's life off the rails and
Yeah.
making them feel awful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just because like,
Ooh.
oh, we wanted you to date our other friend and we didn't really like this guy, and you're willing to just like that person up for life, like
Yeah.
insane trust issues.
So if you're her, so she believed her friends,
Yeah.
as I probably would have too.
Mhm.
Right.
She blocked him on Facebook. She's probably got him blocked everywhere. It's been months. She dated this other guy and it didn't work out after. So I don't know how long it's been, but we know it's been a few months at least.
Hmm.
What would you do?
I would reach out to Josh.
Yeah.
I think I would. I think I would rush to reach out to
Yeah.
Josh.
I think I would message them, like I would send them a message somewhere. I'm not going to go person to person because I think I'd be like, now knowing, I'm like, I know you probably don't want to even see me again.
Right.
Mhm.
But I
'Cause
would
there's
send them a
also-
message being like, hey, I found out that that was all fake. They all planned this.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. I think what I would feel is disrespectful is thinking that I can get back with them. I think I would just be like, hey, I am so sorry this all happened. This was so unfair.
Mhm.
I can't believe this. I believed them because I thought they were my friends, but I was wrong. This was all orchestrated. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if they message back and we talk, but I certainly wouldn't in those first messages be like, "Can we get back?" or like, "Can we
No,
talk?" or
yeah.
something. I
that
think it would
has
just
to
be a
that has to
just an
like
apology.
naturally, organically resurface if possible. But that's actually a really great point too. Is that like Josh is definitely messed up as well. Of course, like
Yeah.
this woman who like has lost her friends and is going to have trust issues. Like it's like again Josh and in that person who was just kind of the one who wasn't believed. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that is also just like I mean he said it like he punched a wall and left. Like
Yeah.
it is the most frustrating thing in
Oh.
the world to be telling the truth and no one believes you.
Have
It's
you ever played Among Us? I mean, come on.
straight up. And to be fair, she's not saying that she's trying to get back with him. She's just like, I just want closure with Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just wants to. So let's see what she does because we have an update.
Woo!
Even though everyone seemed to think this was a terrible idea, I sent Josh an email on Friday. I copied it here. Josh, I don't know if you are still connected to anyone on Facebook, but if you are, you probably already know why I'm sending this. And I know it is totally unfair and selfish to contact you, but I cannot imagine going through the rest of my life without apologizing. So before I say a bunch of embarrassing things, more than anything, I want to say that I am sorry I did not trust you. I am sorry I let other people decide our relationship. I am sorry for what I put you through. But I figured this might be my only chance to say this, so here comes the really lame, embarrassing stuff. I spent the past day thinking about the past year, where I would be if I had believed you, what my life would be like. Would we be engaged? Would we be married? I'm not over you. I want to try again. I'm not asking you to marry me, but if you ever find yourself thirsty, I would love to buy you a beverage of your choice.
Oh God.
I want to talk to you again. I miss everything about our relationship. I miss you getting annoyed when I stole your French fries. I miss fighting with you over money. I miss making you breakfast. I miss watching The Office with you over and over and over. I miss you. My information is still the same. I would not blame you if you ignored and deleted this. Just know that I know I am really sorry. What do you think about that message?
I liked it.
I liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it could have been like a little bit. Well, I don't know. I mean, if I'm
Yeah.
in that position, like I'm emotional, like everything just got flipped upside down. Like I
True.
understand where she's coming from.
She's
and
going
being
through a
like,
lot.
I'm really, really sorry.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think she chose her words carefully, except for when she said thirsty.
Hey, are you
But-
thirsty?
Yeah, no, I was like, is she really about to go there? But with
Good.
everything else, I thought it was actually appropriate.
Okay. So I sent it and tried to take my mind off of it. Just writing it and sending it was extremely cathartic. I
Yeah.
spent Saturday morning sitting around watching old movies when someone rang my doorbell. Assuming it was Amazon, I ignored it and waited for the delivery driver to leave so
Oh.
that I could sneak out and grab the package. I was in my robe. After a minute or two, I walked over to the door and looked through the hole. It was Josh. Obviously, my heart leapt into my throat. I had been compulsively checking my phone for a response, but I was not expecting something like that. Everything in my house, including me, was pretty disheveled. I cracked the door, smiled, said hi, and told him that I had to get dressed really quick. What a terrible interaction. So I ran around my place throwing shit into corners, pulled my hair back, found something to wear, and went back to the door. He said, I'm here for that beverage. I only had OJ and water, which was also pretty embarrassing, but Josh stuck around anyways. He didn't ask too many questions, really. I started to talk about the nude photo incident, but he said he didn't really care to talk about it. We both know all of the details now. The conversation eventually grew a bit aimless, and we were just talking like old times. It was wonderful. He asked if I was hungry. I wasn't really, but of course I said I was. We went to a nearby burger place that we used to go to all the time. He did ask whether or not I had dated Alex. He didn't seem to be upset by my answer. I asked him if he had dated anyone. He had a 6-month relationship in the interim. She sounded great, but I didn't pry. When we got back to my place, Josh asked what I was doing for the rest of the day. I don't have plans. We spent the rest of the day together, then the night. It's totally stupid to move that fast, but I'm not going to spend much time worrying about it. I'm feeling happy. We spent part of Sunday together too, then Tuesday and Wednesday. We discussed what we were doing. 2 single people dating each other was the consensus. Exclusive? Yes. I think the world of him and I will always regret what happened. No matter what, though, I'm extremely happy I sent the letter to him. It's interesting to think that if he had actually done what everyone accused him of, and then I took him back, I would probably have trust issues. Now, obviously, I trust him to the core. He could tell me the world was flat and I'd have trouble questioning him. Okay,
Don't go there.
don't.
We're back, baby.
Just a weird thought I've been having. So that's the story. We are together again. Will it work out? I hope so. No matter what, things are better today than they were last week.
Nice.
Whoo!
Wow.
Yeah, wild shit.
Oh my God.
So it was a year in between. You know, it's like if I'm him, I think I'm able to forgive her because I would be like, yeah, I know you. Of course, you believed 6 of your.
Totally.
This is
totally.
such an unlikely event.
And that's just such an amazing quality of Josh that he is able to have that understanding instead of just leading with like, well, you hurt me and you didn't trust me and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Like it sounds like he also read that letter with Ernest and was just like, I feel the same way. I know that we have this connection. And it sounds like they're gonna have this unbreakable bond.
Yeah, and
bond
after
with each
a
other.
year apart after this event, it only took she sent the message and like he was immediately over there and then they're just back. So they does sound like they have a very strong connection. I am thinking about the absolute devastation of
Alex.
him knowing like, oh, so, like you did date Alex for a little bit. Not mad at her, but just being like that slimy son of a bitch. Like
Yeah.
they planned this whole thing so he could basically steal your girlfriend, and it almost worked. But like, it's also got to be nice that it's like, oh, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Even when she
Exactly.
believed this story.
I think Josh is like secure.
Totally.
He is like, it's fine.
But it's
like,
also got to just. I'm just
sting a little bit, of
Yeah.
course.
Just like. But
hopefully Alex is upset now. You know, hopefully
Yeah.
I hope
Alex.
they aired his ass out on TikTok.
yeah.
Get him.
No, I mean, how stupid does that friend group? I mean, they obviously only told her after it didn't work out with Alex. They had to be like, wow, we really broke up a relationship for a relationship that didn't work out. Like, it's like, yeah, you guys are dumbasses.
They're only ever gonna have each other. You know.
They straight up Game of Thrones him. They tried to Ned Stark this dude. Like, straight up. They orchestrated a conspiracy against him and tried to have him murdered.
Oh my God.
And it almost worked.
I'm really glad though. The whole time I was like, I want him to, like, if I was in his shoes, I hope I would be mature enough to be like, hey, I totally understand. I like to think I would, but like for him to just be like, I understand that 6 people lied to you and manipulated you, and it was completely normal for you to believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to get past it because I really care about you.
I think where it would be murkier is if it was one person who told a lie and they
Yep.
believed.
Yep.
But that, this is her whole world told her a thing. And it's like, yeah, you can understand that.
And to show up with that line too, like I'll take that beverage. Josh has got
Pretty
game.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Josh is.
Pretty cool. What I was also prepared for that would have been devastating is if he was now in a relationship, which was very likely. He was in one
Oh my
for 6
God.
months and it didn't work out.
No, this was meant to be
But
for their
like,
story.
imagine
Yeah.
he'd moved on. This all worked out very well, but they threaded the needle.
I feel like I kind of spoiled it got spoiled a little bit because then I remembered that this is on like the best of Reddit updates. So I was like, oh, he's totally coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, this gave me trust issues. Like I'm so scared now. Like, what if people in my life, there are multiple people in my life telling me something? What if they're lying now? I can't believe that many people would lie to someone they care about.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm gonna be okay.
It's all right.
I
Hey,
trust the
Are you guys telling the truth?
Trev, you already got trust issues.
Are you
It's
gonna
okay.
lie to me?
Trevor, we're
gonna lie to
filming
me?
Jeopardy right now. Anyways.
That is the scariest thing you've ever said.
Will you look over the Jeopardy boards here? And I'm
I
just
just
like,
whip
yeah.
out a
You're like,
whiteboard.
redemption.
Multiple people in my life telling me something. What if they're lying now? I can't believe that many people would lie to someone they care about.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm gonna be okay.
It's all right.
I trust the
Are you guys telling the truth?
Trev, you already got trust issues.
Are you
It's
gonna
okay.
lie to me?
Trevor, we're
gonna lie to
filming
me?
Jeopardy right now. Anyways.
That is the scariest thing you've ever said.
Will you look over the Jeopardy boards here? And I'm
I
just
just
like,
whip
yeah.
out a
You're like,
whiteboard.
redemption.
Oh my God. End it. End the video.
Anyways, I feel like we talked about dating a little bit. We talked about so many other things as well.
We got
But dating
everywhere.
encompasses everything. You know?
Yeah.
It's about people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this made me want to talk more about dating with you guys too. Like, I feel like I want to continue to pick your brains about these conversations, because not only does it encompass a lot, but I think it also tells you so much about other people.
Well, thank you both for being here. This was really great.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Appreciate
Anytime.
it.
Yeah.
And thank you all for watching. Let us know what other themes and subreddits you want us to cover on this show, and we will see you next Saturday.
Bye.
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 For me, so I understand which one it is. He said that he didn't want to ruin the raid for his raid members and told me it would take him about 10 to 15 minutes.
That's not that long.
I walked into the bedroom alone and a little sad because I felt like he chose his game over me, especially when I put in this much effort to create a nice evening for him and cater to his needs. Long story short, I got cold and upset and crawled into bed. When he wanted to join me 20 minutes later, I really wasn't in the mood anymore and said that he lost his shot this night. I feel like I ruined his night when I was trying to make it better. Am I the asshole? So there was no official verdict on this one, just so you know. I have my thought because I've obviously read this before. My ultimate take on this is I think this is very much like this is like a very relationship dilemma.
Yeah,
here.
this is a complicated relationship.
I don't think
thing
this
that
is
we don't
like,
have.
If I was a friend of theirs, I wouldn't be like, let's not make this about who's the asshole and who's not.
Right.
Like, let's make this about.
Right.
I think it's funny. I do think it's a little funny.
It is.
It is kind of.
It
funny.
is.
It is a funny
unfortunately-
situation. This feels like a sitcom situation, like something on New Girl or something.
So can I be vulnerable?
Yes.
Can be vulnerable.
I feel like I almost like sometimes am scared. Like when I'm dating someone, it's like, what if they want to surprise me with sex?
Really?
And like, it's like, what do you do when because that is such a kind of a trope where it's like, oh, like, I'm like it's typically, I'm treading on dangerous ground, but like in movies and stuff, like the woman will be like, oh, I'm gonna get dressed up and like surprise my partner. It's like, what if you're not in the mood?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
And to me, it's like, I would feel really bad. I would feel really bad for them. And it's like, it seems like what she went through is exactly what I'd be afraid of them going through, which is like, you feel a little rejected. You'd feel a little,
Totally.
you put yourself out there.
Absolutely. I think her feelings are I think her feelings are valid.
Feelings are valid.
I think her feelings are valid. I think this is something they need to just talk about.
Yes.
I don't think it's a matter of like, oh, I was in the wrong, you're in the wrong. I think it's like, hey, what happened there? What's going on?
feel like 15 minutes isn't a long time.
No, but I also get that the anticipation.
Oh,
and
for
she's there,
sure.
like she's fully there, and she's very vulnerable.
She's like,
She comes out, she walks out, and is like, "Here is all of me," and he's excited. She's admitting like he was excited, but he's like, "Can it take?"
he's like, one sec.
and she's like, "Oh shit, this is."
I
No,
just
it would
built all
kill.
this
It
up.
would.
It definitely is a little
It
devastating.
would shoot the momentum down for sure.
But the tough thing too is he had no idea this was about to
Yeah.
happen.
Right. So it's like no one's
So-
at fault. It just didn't play out the way it's supposed to.
Exactly. And obviously, there's a lot of research and books on this type of thing. But some people have a reactive sexuality, some people don't. It sounds like I feel like almost they don't sound like they're in a bad spot, But I feel like they both could either read up on stuff with sexuality or see a sex therapist to like get ahead of this
Yeah.
being a worse situation, to learn about their communication styles.
I've
and
never
stuff.
heard that term, reactive.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, reactive sexuality is when people don't like. She's talking about like, I don't have a sex drive. It's like you do. It's that you may not feel sexual until it's like
Yeah.
until it's kind of like you need to react to it. There's a more in-depth situation to it than just like, oh, I need something sexual to happen to feel it. And it's what it also is that some people are very environmental with their sexuality, so
Yeah.
they need to be in the right situation.
I get on the Reddit stage and woof,
I know.
start humping stuff.
I know. It's a lot. We had to settle.
We had to
You're actually Velcroed to the couch right now.
Yeah.
I keep trying to.
I've got a sprayer in the back here. Keep you in order.
Trevor, we got an update from Trevor. Trevor said, yeah.
Update.
Update from Trevor.
He's like, oh, the one that takes 2 minutes to beat?
The
Oh my
difficult
God.
spider lady. Yeah, that would be Verzik Vitur, the final boss of the Theater of Blood. Why do you ask? We just texted Trevor. He got us back.
We're all cartoon people here, apparently.
Yeah. We'd be like, Tommy, what's that Charlie XCX blah, blah, blah?
It's called roller coaster car.
Your eyes roll back. Roller coaster car. Is that
I'll
a real
be-
song?
No, but
Okay,
it
I was
basically
like-
is. It basically is.
I'll be a little vulnerable. The reason I talk about this because I was just finished listening to a book, a nonfiction book on sexuality, because I like psychology books, and it's this book called "Come as You Are," and it's about that's the title of the book. I was like, all right,
Guys, you can't laugh.
but you're not allowed to laugh. You're legally not allowed to laugh. But in it, this expert talks about how everyone has accelerators and brakes. And that's like some people have more sensitive brakes, some people have more sensitive accelerators. But she says what's damaging is over time, people start to go like, oh, I just have no sex drive. It's like, no, your brakes are probably on. Like the situation's not right, and you're not clocking what's preventing you from feeling it. Or
Interesting.
it's really fascinating. But I think what's also could potentially be a problem is he's saying, I don't want to have sex unless you want it 100%. That puts a ton of pressure on
It does put a lot of pressure
That's-
on
that's probably going to make her sex like desire to go back. She's like, oh shoot, I need to.
Overthinking everything.
Like it's kind of what you're talking about. It's like there's a lot of pressure here, and that's making it more difficult.
There's a lot of pressure on the Reddit stage. That's why you get all
Yeah, that's
Worked
right.
up.
I get scared.
all these cameras.
Last thing I'll say about it, because there's a funny story in this book where she's a therapist and she's talking to this couple, and they're like, yeah, I have no desire, whatever, and there's kind of a lot of pressure on it, and she goes, okay, you guys, I'm making a mandate. You guys cannot have sex for the next 3 months. And then she's like, you're not allowed. And then they ended up having sex because the pressure was so off that they then
Whoa.
suddenly.
Whoa.
And I'm like, that's fascinating. So that's what I mean.
But
Like,
there's
I think
only
this
one
couple.
bed.
But I think this couple would benefit from reading up on this stuff because I think they.
Shane's like, y'all should try reading.
Have you read a book?
No, but that's really. I can talk about that kind of stuff all day. Do Reddit stories: sex.
There is our sex, and it's a.
Well, yeah, but I mean Reddit stories, sex edition.
Sex. I've pitched this before.
Yeah, you're sitting in the room like, guys, what if we did sex?
Guys, what if we did?
What if
And
we
it's that Antonio Banderas. You know,
No, the fact that there is just our sex is really funny.
yeah, and it's every day. There's another story about a threesome going wrong.
Yeah.
It's insane. All right, some comments on this. You should have told him you had a surprise for him and not do anything instead of letting him get started on something. It also does kind of suck that waiting 20 minutes is such a deal breaker. He was clearly excited, but he'd made a commitment to other people he needed to wrap up first. 3.9 thousand upvotes. I
3.9 thousand people were like,
yeah, I definitely see it. Like it's fair that if you surprise someone, it may not be the ideal situation.
Right.
But I also understand her feeling. Someone said, here's the thing non-gamers don't get about online groups.
Oh shit.
here's the thing.
So we have a follow-up from Trevor.
Okay. Listen, here's what's going on.
Here's what non-gamers don't understand.
He didn't choose the game over you. He was simply already committed to a group of people, and canceling probably meant ruining their session. It doesn't matter that 1,000 gamers are yelling, "You're the asshole," but have no clue on how desire works. She felt the urge, and the response killed that to a point she didn't want to have sex anymore. It's not rational, it's fully hormonal and instincts talking. They need to work out a better way to get that desire, maybe even going outside their bonds, doing some menage, buying some crazy toys, watching porn, etc. Anyone saying you've been denying him for month after month does not have a chance at a healthy relationship because they're blaming the effect / the result and not the cause / the actual problem.
Wait, what is a menage?
Menage a trois?
But
It's a three-way.
oh, really?
I didn't know that.
I thought a menage a trois was a three-way. I thought like it was like a.
They're just abbreviating.
Oh, can you abbreviate it? Because I would think.
I don't know the
I think
rules of three-way lingo.
I thought menage would be like a separate
I had no idea.
word.
Nikki?
Yeah.
Menage translates to household. So like menage a trois is like a house of three.
So a menage is a house.
So Nicki Minaj's
Nicki
name is
House?
Nicki House.
The boots.
Nicki House the boots.
I think before they try a bunch of crazy shit, they
It's
should
like, bro,
just
have you
talk
tried
about-
fucking someone else?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure there were a ton of comments of people ragging on her, being like, "You're denying him sex." It's like, no, like he has the right idea of like, I don't want to do this if you don't want to. But I think they should be talking and like learning about themselves and self-reflecting on what they're into. When they're into something, it's like why, you know.
Right.
Anyways, moving on.
I should come and look inward.
Look inward.
Hey, take a peep inside.
Okay. This next story comes from the Two Hot Takes subreddit. Shout out to Two Hot Takes, they rock. This one I found and I clocked it because, you know, it's relatable to a sense. You'll understand.
Did you point at me when you said that?
No, I put it out, Spencer.
Okay.
You'll understand.
You'll understand. It's about
You'll
boobs.
understand.
It's like
And I'll understand.
my penis
And
is
I'm gonna
too
go,
big.
Huh?
I have a huge penis. Okay.
God, it
something
really is
hurts.
Boys' Day today, isn't it?
Here we go. Here we go. My boyfriend has started becoming more and more insecure about my height, and it's starting to drive me crazy.
Ha ha.
Throw away, and for context, I'm a 22-year-old woman, and he's a 23-year-old man. We're both about 5'8". I'm slightly shorter, so maybe he's 5'8 and a half. I'm tall for a girl. I was a shooting guard on the basketball team during my first 3
Well,
years of
point
college. He knew this going into the relationship.
You knew how tall I was.
You knew it.
When we
You
kissed,
knew this.
standing up
Next to our rulers.
next to our rollers.
We've been
Okay,
together.
put your ass against the, and we're gonna kiss.
We've been together for 7 months. The first 6 months were smooth sailing. However, last month we went
I
to
started dunking on him.
I got the HOR and the S.
However, last month we went to a more posh / bougie party and I wore heels. Of course, I end up being taller than him by a decent bit. So instead of telling me how pretty he thought I looked, the first thing he pointed out was, "Wow, you look way too tall in those."
So you look at Bigfoot.
Even asked if I had a shorter pair of heels and then finally gave it up. I found that really weird and out of character about him. But that was only the start. Ever since that day, he has bugged me at least 4 times a week to assure that I feel protected around him. Literally yesterday, he asked if I'd love him more if he was above 6 foot. Whenever we take side-by-side pics, he gets on his tippy toes to make it seem like he's much taller than me.
I do that with Tommy.
I crack my knees out when I stand next to you, so I'm on the ground.
He also randomly tries to lift me up, which he can with ease since he's strong, and it catches me off guard every time.
Bro, that gave me the ick.
I know. He tries straightening his back to the point where he looks weird. He's bought into some weird narrative that I see him as less of a man because he's not 4 inches taller. I've told him multiple times that I don't care about his height, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten with him. No matter how many I love yous I'll throw at him, and I mean all of them. He just can't stop talking about this issue. Guys, what do I do? He's been acting so immature about this.
Cut your feet off.
Yeah,
Yeah, cut your
I
feet
think she has to cut her feet off. She's gonna have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah.
I selected this because I've never understood this insecurity. Um, the only times I've ever felt insecure about, and it's not like an insecurity, it's just like a, oh damn. It's like when I was on dating apps and stuff, and there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I won't date someone under like a certain height. But once I was in my entire life, whenever I've been dating someone, I then don't really care. Like,
Oh,
I don't care if they're
yeah.
taller than me.
No, I think the only times I felt like a little insecure about it are dating apps when it's like when it feels like a statistic because
Yeah.
it's like it's listed like a sports statistic, and then at airports when you got to take your shoes off. For some reason, everyone just feels like a foot taller than me at the airport. I don't know what it
Huh.
is.
Interesting.
Like
But
at the
Yeah, like when you're going through
Zip Zop thing?
security,
Yeah.
I'm like,
They put you in the tube and tell you to put your hands
yeah,
up.
Why is everyone a Navi?
yeah. I feel like Jake Sully.
But I could never fathom like telling someone to not wear heels because they.
No, and to me, like at this age, I mean, unfortunately, sorry, I've been saying unfortunately a lot. Smosh just kind of made everything a little funny to me. So like now, if like if my partner's like way taller than me, it's like, it's like jokes on you.
I just don't think about it. But some short guys, I guess, really get hung up on it. Like, really don't like it.
But if a genie came up to you, Tom, you're excluded from this conversation. How tall?
Okay.
How tall are you?
Basically 6'1" when my hair's
Fuck
doing its
off.
thing.
If someone was like, "Hey, here's 6 inches for free," not
free.
let me rephrase that better. I will make you grow.
I got 6 inches for free.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
What?
Okay, you're back. You're back in the game. Salute. No, someone's like, dude, I can make you half a foot taller for let's say $1,000.
oh,
I mean,
I
okay.
think anyone would do that.
Okay, but yeah, but that's like there's a lot of. It's like
I'm just asking, bro. I'm asking the question.
I'll make your 6-pack a little more visible for $1,000. I'll make
Not the question.
I'll make your butt fatter for $1,000. I'm like, I'll do all these, man.
Taking out loans.
Like I would do. There's a lot of but it's not like I'm like desperate for that.
Right.
If I get 3 wishes from a genie, that's not probably going to be one of my wishes.
But what if they were like, hey, give me $1,000 or I'll make you 3 inches shorter?
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Okay, let me pitch this.
This is weird.
Welcome to my Reddit stories.
Let me pitch this. Okay, you guys are obviously secure, well-rounded, healthy in the brain guys, mostly. Have you guys seen the surgeries that they do
Yes.
where they like break the shins or whatever and they stretch the legs out? It takes like a year to like get it and recover. How much money would you have to get paid to do that surgery?
I don't think I would ever do it. I don't think I would ever do it because I think that would you're gonna be fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be fucked up. And I'm like, honestly, like post 50, 60, like I'm not gonna care about my height at that point. But I will be feeling that shit.
That's so true.
I'm way more worried about that. I care so much more about my health and like,
Longevity.
Yeah, no bullshit.
bones.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
What is happening?
If someone were to pay me to do it,
Oh my
That's what I'm
god.
saying.
yeah, I mean, not much. I mean, I would also have to see a mock-up. Like, what are my proportions going to be?
You're gonna look very silly.
Same
After
shins,
my friends
huge.
count. Hey, what's
Yeah,
up? What are you
you're gonna look
doing?
silly.
But if maybe I've got short shins. I don't know
That's
where
true. Maybe that's where
I don't know where I carry my height.
That's true.
I would need to look at a naked picture of myself and then be like, this will be longer.
The first time you've
According
ever
to an
looked at yourself
article-
naked.
Yeah.
Leg lengthening surgery can cost around $75,000 and is roughly a 4-hour operation, and also probably a shit ton of
But
recovery
they
time.
they crank it.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you
it's
go
awful.
in and they
over it, yeah.
crank it.
Yeah.
Have you not heard about this?
I would never do this.
You have braces on your legs for like months, and as soon as it heals, they go crank, crank, and it stretches your bones out, and then it heals again, and you do it over and over again until you're taller.
And
The things men do.
you kind of have to like relearn how to walk.
Yeah, no, not doing that. Anyways, comments.
We're freaking our crew out. This is great.
Because this is the thing. This is the thing. You get that surgery because it's like, oh, I want to be more
What are you doing?
attractive.
I am
But it's
just
like, then you have to
finally
tell people
doing
that you got that surgery.
finally finishing
And
up
I'm
my
like-
free commission that I'm doing. And then I
5'7",
might do some
but you never
Pokemon.
had that surgery,
I don't know
or
yet.
6 foot, but you got that surgery. What do you think people would
I'd start
rather
practicing
I think the
Pokemon
kind of
battles to
people
try to
that
get into a
might be
World Cup
going
next
for
year.
someone because of height might care a
But-
little less.
That's big. What? That's a big if.
I just also think these guys are going for the wrong people.
Yeah, exactly.
What I liked is I did see one of those posts where a guy had done that, and the comment on it was just like, "You're 5'7" forever, dude." Like, it's just like, "Sorry, dude, you're still 5'7". Like,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
You're 5'7".
We should do it. We should do like a pit vlog where we have stilts on all day, and it's like what's
Cool,
it like?
that's fun. Yeah, what are you up to?
Okay.
Did anyone write that?
You still at the
Anyone write that?
basketball game?
I didn't hear any pen scribbling.
Some comments on this post. He knew this going into the relationship. Well, at least you didn't just suddenly reveal yourself to be 5'8".
That'd be
That would have been
sick.
dishonest.
She's just like,
Yeah.
I will show you my true form. My husband is 5'6" on a tall day. I'm really petite, but I remember when we were young. I've known him my whole life. He had a long-term relationship
Ludo
with a
just
gorgeous
rang the
girl
bell.
who was quite a bit
Should
taller
I
than him.
summon
think
the
she's
Ludo?
5'9" or so. Honestly, I think that made him more desirable to a lot
You
of
want me to
people.
summon
And
Ludo
most of
into
his
here?
relationships have been with stunning women who are his height or taller.
Booby,
That just
come
means he's
here.
secure and he likes beautiful women.
this is about me.
I'm lucky he picked me, a shorty who is much more average with looks. He could have chosen anyone. Lastly, someone said, "This is the type of guy who has a great girlfriend, gets insecure about his height. He then lets his insecurities cause issues, and the girl dumps him. Then the guy complains about not being able to get a girlfriend because of his height. The cycle continues." Someone responded to that saying, "For me, it was that he thought I was too pretty for him, and all pretty girls cheat and are mean.
You
So he
bluff
cheated
butt.
and was mean to me first because obviously I already was awful."
Good
Is there a
boy,
word for this?
Booby
LOL.
King. You say, oh, he just burped. I
do
don't know if you
think
could hear that.
Insecurity is so much worse than any physical trait.
Hang on, guys, I gotta get my sniffs
This
in.
guy's blowing it. He's fumbling the bag,
Yeah.
sadly.
And he's short.
And he's
Oh, you're
He's also
so
shut
stinky.
up.
Oh, he's so stinky.
And the actual dating experience isn't ever. It never
Excuse
really
me,
comes up.
Booby. Can you move now?
It's
Can
definitely
you
like
move now, Booby?
in my entire
Can you
life,
move?
there's been so
Can
many
you
people
move
who
now?
don't give a
You wanna play
shit,
games?
so.
You wanna sit up here?
Not
You wanna
a
sit up in
thing
here?
in the gay world.
You wanna sit in my
There's
chair?
just too many people.
Shut up, tall ass.
Yeah, uppy, uppy.
There's just so many
You wanna?
people.
Good boy.
I've dated people
Good
taller
boy.
than me and shorter than me.
It's
It's
okay. Go
all
on.
fun.
He's like, Dad, see him next. Oh, you gonna sit back there? I might put up his cam if he does sit back
3
there.
inches are free.
He's so fluffy, right? He's so cute. I have to keep a big eye on him when he's in here because Gunther has butthole worms.
Okay, our next story is another "Am I the Asshole" post. Am I the asshole for
Ugh,
firing
I
my
literally
best
took
mate
him
for proposing
to go to the
at my
groomers,
wedding?
right? I drove an hour and a half because that's like
Guy, come
the
on.
closest
That's cringe.
that's the
Let's do
closest
this.
groomers for cats.
There's a
And he
30-year-old
needs a
man.
groom
My
really
wedding was
bad.
supposed to be the happiest
And
day of my life. My
he went
wife
in
is
there
28,
and I guess he
I
was
spent
doing
months
fine, you know, the
planning
groomer
everything
loved
with
him.
it
And
turned
she
out
went to
perfect.
do the
Almost. My
the
best friend, I was calling
sanitation
John, a 32-year-old
part,
man.
which is
He's
like,
been my
you know,
closest friend since
his
childhood.
booty and his pee-pee.
Naturally, I asked him to be my
They
best
like
man,
shave the
and he
fur
accepted
around
with
it.
excitement. The
Um,
ceremony was beautiful,
And she
the
called me
reception
like
was
30
even
minutes
better.
in
Everything
and
was
she's
going
like,
smoothly
"Hey,
until the speeches. John got up to
I'm
give
not
his
gonna be able to
best
finish
man
this
speech.
because
At first, it
Gunther
was full
has
of the usual
worms."
jokes
And I was like,
heartfelt stories, which everyone enjoyed.
huh?
But then, out of
So
nowhere,
now
he turned to his
he
girlfriend,
just had
who's
his first
25,
dose today.
and started
Not
talking about their
vet
relationship.
wise, so I'm gonna
Before
see if I
knew
can
it,
get rid of
I
him
was
with the
down
medication I
one
got
knee,
off of
proposing to
Amazon,
her right
which
there in
has
the
high
middle of my
reviews.
reception.
Bro,
The
how?
room
Okay,
was
so listen,
silent.
I feel really
I could
bad.
feel
I'm
my
pretty
wife
sure he's
losing
had
my
worms since we
entire
got him
life.
because I
John's
thought I had
girlfriend said
seen
yes,
worms.
and everyone started
And
clapping and cheering, but
I
was
guess I
confused.
wasn't
I
diligent
felt like my
enough
special
because
day had been
I
hijacked.
still hadn't seen
Instead of
worms in
celebrating
his
our
poop or
marriage,
anything.
everyone was now focused on
Well,
John
come to
and his
find out I
speeches.
I just couldn't
After
see
the
them
initial
because they're
shock
so
wore
much
off,
tinier
I
for
confronted John
cats.
and told him he
Oh
was
my
out of
god.
line.
So
He
he's
said he
had
thought it
worms
would
since we
be a
bought
great
him.
surprise
I've done
so
a
that
couple
he hadn't
treatments
been.
of
I told him to
dewormer, but I
establish
guess
and
it never
reconsider,
worked.
and I
So
ended up
last
kicking him
night
out
after
of the
I
reception.
took a shower and
Now,
stuff, I
some
literally
people
sat
felt
him
just
down
like
and like had to like
overreacted
wipe
and
the
I should have let it
eggs
slide
like
for the
by
sake
his
of
butt
our
because he had like
friendship.
eggs all
My
over the.
wife fully
Ugh.
supports my decision.
It
but I'm
was
starting to wonder
gross.
if I was too harsh. Am I
The
the
things
asshole
I
for
do
firing
for
my
them, and
best
I have to
man
check
for
Ludo's
proposing out
butt,
of my
make sure that
wedding
he
and
doesn't have it
proposing
because
during
I
my
know
reception?
he's eaten kitty poop before.
I don't think so.
Huh? Because you're
I
stinky.
don't know, but he shouldn't be proposing
So,
at someone else's
yeah, that's what I'm
wedding.
dealing with
It's
now.
their wedding.
I
But
sent this
yeah,
message, so I was just like,
and it's
"Yes,
hard to
you
check
know,
Ludo
he is crazy."
That's
Like,
because he's so
during-
fluffy.
During your best man speech.
And he does like, he's
the
like,
purpose of your best man speech is to literally.
but Gunther's
Yeah,
fluffy
talk
too. He
about
I
this
do
couple
struggle
and you
checking
make it
him.
about yourself and you put it front and
But at
center.
least with him, like, I
don't
can
know what this
actually
guy's
like
worried about. If
see
he
the
feels this way
egg
and his
colors
wife
because
feels
they're
the
like
same
a
way, I'm like, you guys
tannish
are
color.
set.
They literally
It
look
was
like
your wedding.
rice.
You're
OMG,
you
that's
can kick
nasty.
someone
I
out
feel
because you
bad
don't
for
like
you.
them. All the time.
Same. Bro, it's so
It's your wedding,
gross.
you're allowed to
And
do
now
that.
I have to go out in the cold after in these next couple days to make sure Ludo doesn't have worms in his poop, unless I see worms
I don't think I've
around
ever
his butt.
understood-
But yeah, like every night now I have
I don't think
to
I've ever understood
I have
the
to make
idea
sure
of
that I'm at least
proposing
getting
at
all the
someone else's
eggs.
wedding. So I'm like, you really want that to be part of your story with your partner? I guess.
Grody,
I
grody,
guess if it's like
grody.
maybe some really tight knit.
But you know, at least
where they would,
eventually
like,
Gunther will
celebrate this
be
kind of thing, I'm
doing
like, okay.
better and
But
he will
this
be
with, like,
healthy,
your
and then
friend's
we can
wedding,
get him
I'm like,
we can get him the grooming that he desperately
At
needs.
the very
Hey,
least,
what are you doing?
run it by the bride.
Get out of
If
here.
you're gonna be doing anything
Hopefully,
weird,
right? I still can't. I still feel so bad
and propose-
because I had told Toby when we first got him, I was like, I think he's
guess
got
the idea
worms,
is that
and then
you're at a party.
I had treated him for worms. And I didn't notice anything, and I didn't even think to check recently because I was like, well, Gunther never goes outside, and if Ludo doesn't have any worms, then he must be good. Nope.
So it's an idea
Ludo
to
might be
take
immune to
advantage of
worms, I
that
swear to God.
and propose
So I haven't seen
while you're in the
any
right
worms on his
situation.
butt.
I just think
Like,
it's
even when Gunther was having the
shitty because
issues.
everyone knows like the whole idea of a wedding is about the bride and groom. It's literally their day. So to even have to plan that in advance and
But
do it
anyway, what are you up
is
to?
really shitty. I don't know if I would.
I know you're still at the
if I was in that
game.
situation. Not out of being like.
Are you with
"Ooh," I
a
think I
are
would
you
feel
with
like,
a boyfriend?
What?
I would feel pissed like on the behalf of the bride.
Oh,
and groom.
totally. I'd be like, is this a prank?
Who's
Yeah,
winning? Is our
it
team
would
doing
make
good?
me feel icky.
Totally. Especially if
With
I
the
saw
boy,
that the
not
bride,
boyfriend?
if I saw that the
Okay.
bride and groom were there,
Want
like,
to be
I'd
boyfriend?
be like, oh shit. A bunch of comments. If
He's
he
my
thought you'd be
pookie.
happy,
I don't know.
why didn't he take 2 seconds beforehand to
You
clear
fuck
it
it.
with you? Not the asshole. Don't propose at other people's weddings.
Okay,
That's true.
so I don't like this really
Right.
fluffy.
Someone else said lots of things you maybe shouldn't do at any wedding. I watched the groom get up to make his toast, and he did, and then spent what seemed like forever tearing into his parents. 300 guests were all trying to figure out the same thing. How do we make it stop? It was probably only 2 minutes, but it felt
Oh,
like
you're
20.
so
It was 25 years ago,
handsome.
and I've never forgotten it.
I have a boyfriend
I'll bet
already. Don't tell me
299
it's
other
that
people haven't
dude.
either.
That one
Last person
dude.
said, yep, I absolutely get where people
that
think
I
it's a
don't
good
like.
idea because if you share a friend group or a family, then everybody you know will be there for your proposal. It sounds like
Anyway,
a decent idea,
bye-bye.
except it just
Wait.
changes the vibe of the day.
What will you
As
do
the
without
day
TikTok?
turns, the
Black
rest
Dog,
of
are
the
they
day
actually
is
getting rid of TikTok
congratulating
next
the
year?
newly engaged instead of being all about the newly married
Bye
couple.
bye TikTok.
Yeah, super selfish to do without.
Ain't no
and
way.
okay
Ain't
for
no way they're
both
getting rid of
people
it,
getting
bro.
married.
It's like the one time you should be allowed to be so selfish.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is literally the whole purpose of it.
Absolutely.
Insane shit. He did the right. I think he did the right thing by kicking him out.
For sure.
It's like that's over. It does suck. That's his like childhood best friend, and so
Well.
that's probably the end of that.
I wonder how the woman being proposed to felt.
I mean, she said yes.
She's probably scared.
It's tough. It's hard for me to relate to because it's a situation I don't think I ever would have ended up in.
No. Sorry, not to be this guy, but could be me.
Couldn't be me.
I feel like if it happened to me, I would, in the best improv way that I can, be like, yes, and we just recreated how you guys proposed to each other in the park. Right. We love you guys. Yay. Get back to the speech, honey.
I would
Beads of sweat.
pay to see that.
It would even be uncomfortable, even if he didn't propose. It's uncomfortable for him to talk about his own relationship with
Yes.
his girlfriend. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, talk about
Hey,
the bride and
go
groom. Don't talk about
I love ya. Text you
anything
when I
else,
get home.
really.
All right, love you
Um,
too. Have fun and be
Awkward.
safe.
Awkward as hell. Today's Reddit
I'll be
story is
live
brought to
for
you
a
by
while.
ZocDoc. Look, there are some things in life that are okay to be a total crapshoot, like trying a new takeout spot or mixing up your morning coffee order. But finding the right doctor shouldn't be a crapshoot, and it doesn't have to be thanks to ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free
Okay, I
free
will have to
website
go
where you
in
can
here
search and compare
soon.
high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. When I pulled up the app, I was shocked at how simple it was. I mean, it was just an easy search, and I could see all the doctors in my area. It made it so much easier than it ever had been before,
Yeah, okay.
which is awesome. So stop
What are you
putting
doing,
off
Woo
those
Woo?
doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/pitreddit to find an instant
You want me to do
book
my
a
quick
top-rated
break,
doctor
Ludo?
today.
You
That's
can go potty.
ZocDoc.com/pitreddit. ZocDoc.com/pitreddit. Back to the show. Next story.
These are great.
Okay, so
Thank you. Yeah, they're just like concise, like good ones. This next one's crazy.
Okay.
This comes from Best of Redditor Updates. I, a 25-year-old woman, discovered my boyfriend, a 28-year-old man, of 3 years, is cheating. Tonight is the biggest night of his life. Help me.
This is a good Hitman level.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I won't go into all the gory details of our relationship. We were in love, and well, I still love him. But I found out clearly he does not. I discovered proof that he has been cheating on me for a while, in the form of small home movies of them. I don't know the girl, and from the looks of their conversations, yep, went ahead and post-discovery snooped, she has no idea I exist. Tonight is the biggest night of my boyfriend's life. He's receiving a state award at a big dinner with a few hundred people attending, from his mom and dad to councilmen and all of that. In fact, the only reason the only reason I discovered this transgression is because I've been putting together a little video for him to enjoy some of the key moments of his life. You know, typical sappy shit. I'm burdened with a lot of power right now, and I don't know if I have it in me to do the right thing, or if I even know the right thing. I'm blinded with tears of rage and sadness and betrayal, but at the same time, I love him, have loved him, and do I really want to do this? The relationship is over, no doubt about it. I am not a woman who will take her man cheating on her. Certainly not. That's not the issue. The issue is there are cutesy selfies of the two of them, a lot of them, only shared between the two of them. Nothing lewd, there's plenty of that on camera though. Do I sneak one in the snap reel as a way of letting him know that I know? Or do I simply confront him after his moment in the sun passes? I'm not going to pick up everything and leave without cutting contact. That's not my style, and it wouldn't make me feel good, just very sad. Do I do the bitchy thing for once in my life? To anyone looking at the snap reel, it would just look like a picture of him and a friend. But to him and to me, it would be a private message, an outing. Help me, Reddit. I don't know what to do this time. Help me out. Help me, Reddit.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
Because the rest of the people there won't know, this makes it because initially I was like, I don't know, feels a little too much. Like
I think
to,
we were
like, out
picturing
him.
her like splicing in like Fight Club, like fucking clips of them.
She's not talking
Right.
about. She's not talking about anything lewd. She's talking about literally just a photo of him
Right.
and her, just like. So people are gonna think like, oh, it's some.
And the next picture is her crossing her arms, like.
Yeah. And then it's just text saying, I know. How insane, if she does it, is that moment for him?
Crazy.
You're there in like this high stakes. You're probably nervous about like, oh my God, I'm in front of all these people. And then you see that, and then you look over, and she's there just like.
Yep.
She's not gonna be keeping her cool, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna come up. And
She's gonna be sobbing in the back.
He's gonna look over. She's gonna go. Oh!
Oh my God. I mean,
What would you do?
my unsolicited advice would be tell him before, ruin the night ahead of time,
That's a good point.
and not in a big way, like because I don't think like that could be. I don't know, like I don't want to say dangerous, but that feels like
I do think my takes a lot of times are not necessarily on what's the right or wrong thing, but like what's going to make your life easier.
Right.
And it's like
Yeah.
sometimes doing an extreme thing can cause an extreme reaction.
Yep.
Especially if you're a woman and you're a guy. Men they do dangerous shit sometimes. So it's like
You get what
But
you put out there. Yeah.
her plan sounds pretty cool.
Right.
I am eager to
It would
see.
be satisfying in the moment.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, it's a movie moment.
Right. But do you want your life to be a movie or do you want your life to be a life?
Exactly. Ooh,
Right.
that's a good point.
Good. Write that down.
Okay, comments. Nah, you know what? If there's really nothing that anyone would pick up on other than the two of you, you slip that photo into the slideshow. Make eye contact with him when the photo appears on screen. Then, when it's over, you stand up and walk out. It ain't the high road, but nobody needs to walk the high road all the time. OP responded, I chuckled. I think the only reason I would do this is to make eye contact with him so that he knows I know. But I'm not sure I have the guts to do that. I'm not exactly Olivia Pope. Character from Scandal.
Yeah.
And How to Get Away with Murder. I didn't realize those are in the same universe.
Oh.
Are they in the what's her face verse?
The
Shonda
Shonda?
verse? Shonda Rhimes verse?
I don't know.
Shondaland. My
Land.
bad. I knew. I was like, it
New
doesn't
theme park
sound right.
opening this summer.
Bro, acting like everyone I know would drop everything
To go to
to go to
Shondaland?
Shondaland.
I would be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The Grey's Anatomy dark ride?
It never ends.
It never
Wow.
ends.
White
It's been
Woman
on
One
for
Piece.
days. Update.
Whoa!
We're gonna find out what happens.
I want a soundboard for this. Can we do an episode with the soundboard?
That would be awesome.
Because
Okay.
the live stream with Chance and Angelo.
How the hell did he make that noise?
Okay.
I want a soundboard for this. Can we do an episode with
What happens for days. Update.
Whoa!
We're gonna find out what happens.
I want a soundboard for this. Can we do an episode with the soundboard?
That would be awesome.
Because
Okay.
the live stream with Chance and Angelo and Arasha where they were playing the game about cheating and Chance just kept hitting the TikTok boom sound effect.
I'm down. The people who listen to this before while going to bed are gonna hate it. Okay. Well, it's been a month and a half since this all went down. I have gotten so many requests for an update, and I never intended to actually give one. Honestly, because I was afraid of the fallout depending on what I ended up doing. So what did I do? I did the immature, vengeful thing, and I don't regret it. I took a few photos of the two of them. Tasteful photos that gave off no indication other than she might be a childhood friend. I slipped them into the snap reel, and I spoke kindly of him at the podium, and then after my turn was finished, I walked out. I drove home feeling calm and in control. 20 minutes later, the text started. Where did I go? What did I know? Where did I find the photos? Was there more in store for him? I texted him, I know you've been her, but there are no more photos. There weren't any, and of course, I left it at that. He didn't come home that night, or the next. The next day, he called me back to ask if we could meet and talk in a public location. I agreed to meet him at Starbucks. I arrived early, waited for him.
Oh.
He showed up a few minutes late and took the seat across from me. He started right off with the excuses, how it just happened, and he regrets it fully. She doesn't mean anything to him, and that she looked like a girl he had a crush on in high school, and he was powerless against his teenage self.
Right.
I didn't interrupt him.
She's like, oh, okay.
She's like, oh, let's get a frap. Let's get a frap and go home.
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt him, just let him have his time. When he was done and looking at me for a sign of what might happen next, all I could say was, so where did you stay the past few nights? Her house. And what did you do? He wouldn't answer. There hadn't been any doubt in my mind. Really, I knew I was
only one bed.
I knew I was leaving him. He talked over himself, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, saying he'd change. I told him that I didn't want him to have to change himself. That if who he was naturally was someone who cheated on his girlfriend, then that's not someone I wanted to be with. He said that he was thinking of proposing to me, and all I could say after that was, good thing I found out before. Fast forward to a few weeks later, he's moved out, and I am doing well. We have cut off contact. People ask me about him all the time, and I just let them know he left me for a girl who looked like his high school crush. So that's the end. We are broken up. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. I don't feel any regret of how I handled it. Like one commenter said, there's no need to take the high road all the time.
Yeah, she rides up on the little.
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, I guess it didn't make a difference, huh?
No, it all seemed to work out.
She should have shot him with like a crossbow
Yeah.
at Starbucks.
A vanilla bean crossbow.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. When people cheat, almost the worst part to me when people cheat is when they then think they try to spin it away where it's like, well, we're gonna be okay, right? It's just like now you're insulting their intelligence.
Yeah.
Like if you cheat, and then you don't admit it, but then you get caught, you might as well just be like, all right, well, I guess we're done. Like,
This isn't like
you got me.
hey. Uh, cut this out. Shane's been doing like little Trump impressions all day, and I've like caught it. I've caught it in my system.
She looked
You're
like my
saying
high
you
school
got
crush.
me.
Okay. This is like an affair. This is like a multi-year.
Yes.
Like this is.
Yes, it's horrendous, and and like the confidence he had to have all this photo footage and stuff. It's like it's wrong no matter what, but it hurts more when it's like, damn, and you didn't even feel you needed to hide it. Like there's such an insult to your intelligence in it that sucks.
Well, good for her, I guess.
Oh, good for her. Comments. What a cowardly piece of shit. Good on you, girl, for leaving his cheating ass. And now he's her problem. Lastly, someone said, this was so satisfying to read that you put the photos in and then left. You go, girl. I am sorry that he was such an awful guy. Can't believe he tried to pull this after saying he had stayed at her house for 2 nights. He said that he was thinking of proposing to me, and all I could say after was good thing I found out before. Perfect reply from you. What a scumbag he is. Also, good job on being honest with those who have to ask about where he is. I hope all goes well in the future for you, OP.
Also, I love you.
Also, I'm in love with you. Yeah, crazy shit.
Wow.
What the hell?
This next story is crazier
Uh-oh.
in a different way.
Oh.
I found this story and I was like,
Is this the one Emily warned me about? Yes. I'm excited.
here's our next story, and this one's a doozy. I'm going to read the title, and then you will understand the trigger warning that will follow it. The title of this story comes from our teenagers plus our copy pasta. The title of this, My Hamster Exploded.
There it is.
Trigger warning if you don't want to hear about an animal getting hurt in any sort of capacity.
Or potentially exploding.
Or exploding. Skip this one to the next story.
So I took the hamster and I went.
This story was written by Shrek.
Right.
Okay.
That's a great reference.
I forgot about this one. I sent this forever ago.
Shane's in bed reading it. It's like, my hamster exploded.
Boing, boing, boing.
Okay. I've been crying in my room for 2 hours now. I was making some salad dressing in the kitchen with my pet hamster, Manny. I let him roam around. My sister and her friends were also in there doing something. I spilled a bottle of vinegar, so I left to get a towel, and when I came back, Manny was drinking it. I didn't think anything of it, so I let him help me clean it up. All of a sudden, Manny starts acting really weird. He's normally very full of energy, but he was just sitting still. Everyone gathered around him to try to figure out what was wrong.
There's a circle of people going, oh no.
Manny?
Suddenly, we hear a fizzling noise coming from inside Manny, and he starts expanding. He let out a final squeak and bursted. Bubbles and blood went everywhere. My sister and her friends started screaming and crying. I ran and got my dad, and he cleaned it up. We looked in the pantry, and apparently Manny got into the baking soda and ate a bunch of it.
He became a
He volcanoed himself.
I think I'm traumatized now.
You think?
Okay, the only thing I can give people is I think I'm fairly certain this is fake,
However,
but it's insane.
Is that the rest? Is that the end of the story?
That's the story, because it's just that I'm like, okay, he got into some baking soda and then drank some vinegar.
it's that scene from Big Trouble in Little China where the guy.
Yeah, he's like, I think it's a fake story, but it's
That's
insane.
wacky.
But yeah.
Hamsters are known to die in crazy ways.
No,
Yes.
all rodents, I have heard, there's no good way for them to go. It's like literally a lot of the time, it's just like, oh, their heart exploded.
Yeah.
Right, or they're like, because like some rodents, you know how their teeth like grow out this way? Sometimes the teeth just decide to grow the opposite way and just smush their brain. Rodents are
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough life out there.
it's hard.
tough life
It's rough out there for a little rat.
Yeah. So a couple comments on this. Why can't hamsters ever have a normal death? Why is it always some out-of-pocket shit, dude?
Yep.
Someone else said, I'm torn between damn, that sucks and I'm sorry that happened, to great story, dude. You keep baking soda on the floor and a hamster isn't going to expand. His stomach will burst and you won't know what's wrong without an autopsy. He's not a freaking balloon. Lastly, someone said, this is simultaneously the funniest and most heartbreaking thing I've ever seen all year. Yeah, the events don't play out like.
It's definitely a
enjoy.
Looney Tunes.
It feels-
I think it's a fake story,
It's-
but it's a funny fake story.
It's a good
coming
funny.
into it and be like, Dad, my hamster exploded.
My hamster exploded everywhere in the room. No, the idea of the hamster being like,
Yeah.
and exploding. No, he's right. The hamster would die, and then you'd be like, what happened?
So what happened?
All right, you want to explain what's going on here?
Wow.
Yeah, so there's that one. Moving on.
What if
Okay.
the hamster faked its own death?
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, this next story is also crazy. This comes from the marriage subreddit, and Am I the Asshole? Pregnant wife's sister offered to sleep with me.
Nice.
So OP's wife is pregnant, and her sister offered to sleep with him.
What happens next will surprise you.
Yeah. My wife, who's 24.
Shut up.
My pregnant wife exploded.
Okay. My wife, who's 24, and I, 24 man, have been together for 3 years and married for about 6 months now. We found out that we are going to be parents, and we are both very excited. We told our families over the weekend, and everyone was happy for us. This morning, I got a text from my wife's sister, who's 21, saying that she knows that women can get emotionally and physically abusive and can put a stop to intimacy during pregnancy, and that she is willing to help me out anytime sexually or emotionally during and after the pregnancy. Obviously, I have no interest in anyone other than my wife, but how do I tell her what her sister offered? My wife has always been there for her sister, and they have always been super close. Her sister was the maid of honor at our wedding. I don't want my wife to lose that bond, and it would destroy her if she found out that her sister was willing to betray her like that. At the same time, her sister is a snake and is willing to ruin our marriage and the life of her soon-to-be nephew niece for what I'm guessing is a childish crush on me. My first priority is my wife and unborn child, and anyone else can go to hell. How do I approach this situation? There's literally no good outcome. I can tell my wife tonight. She'll be absolutely devastated. I will always be there for her, and I know her parents will be on her side, but losing a 20-year bond with her own sibling while in such a vulnerable state sounds terrible. How can I possibly tell my wife that the sister she loved and looked after for so many years wanted to sleep with her husband while she was pregnant? If I don't tell her soon and tell her later, she may lose her trust in me. If I don't tell her at all, my wife will be close with someone who clearly does not care for her and could easily betray her again in the future.
Exactly.
I think
gonna betray you.
he has no choice but to
He
tell
has
her.
to tell her right now.
But what
Yeah.
a crazy thing to have to tell you.
I know, and that sucks, but it's like, hey, it's the truth.
And the sister texted him, so he could just be like,
Yeah, so here's the crazy thing that I was gonna say. Before he kind of laid it all out for me at the end, I was like, dude, just don't even respond. Just like
well,
almost
don't
like
respond.
no, well, yeah, but also like just kind of like almost like ignore it. But then he laid it out for me, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I see. Like if this could become like dangerous.
I would have to. I've luckily never been in a situation remotely like this, but I would have to like I would have to tell my partner if I was like out at a party and someone was like, "Hey, you're cute," I'd be like, "Thanks," and I'd walk away and I'd be like, "This lady told me I was cute." Like I'd have to. I'd feel weird not communicating something like that, you know. But that's me. Like, and I'm extreme with it. But this you can't because this is a crazy secret. To like find out like a year. Or
No, that's
something,
like
or
could be-
oh,
that's-
my sister
yeah.
offered to sleep with you and you
be
didn't
like-
tell me.
Dude, maybe I'm hoping he misread the text.
Yeah,
She was like, "Oh, if you need help lifting stuff."
you know, in a
Lifting
sexual
my
in a sexual way.
Yeah, what if he just fully misread the text?
That'd be good, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
That's
"Oh, if you need any help while your wife's pregnant," he's like, "Dude, she wants to f me."
I realized that. You know what I'm bummed about? I'm gonna let you know now. I realize there's no update on this, so we don't know. I'm sure he told his wife, and hopefully, he just handled it off of Reddit. But some comments. Would your wife ever have told her to do it to see how you reacted? He's responded, I highly doubt it. Someone else said, you tell her your sister sent me this morning. Do not keep it from her. Someone else said this, OP, you better tell her first. If this comes out, the sister will twist things and it will be difficult for her to discern the truth. She'll make you the bad guy. Someone said, agree, this situation calls for a preemptive strike. Lastly, someone said,
It's traumatic as hell.
Jesus.
that's a Reddit response. Someone said, I feel like that's going to be what she does anyway if it comes out. Some young women play stupid games where they try to set up their friends' boyfriends to see if they cheat, like a loyalty test. So I can absolutely imagine a 21-year-old girl doing this for real or using this as an excuse. I did it myself back in the day. We did have a loyalty test in recent Reddit stories where
I thought you were gonna say in real life. I was like,
in
"That's
real life,
crazy."
yeah. No, where a girl asked her friend to wear white to her wedding. And then when she actually did wear white to her wedding, she was like, I can't believe you did this. She's like, you told me to wear this dress. She's like, it was a friendship test. And you failed. I don't understand the concept of
I do that on games videos. I'm like, hey, wear this wardrobe, and when people do,
Yeah.
I'm like, why'd you wear that?
you'll
I'm like Shane, wear green in this green screen video.
Yeah.
You show up wearing green. I'm like, Shane, why did you do that?
you'll be like, hey, Trevor, be really bad in this video. And then you're like, why did you play the game poorly?
Sure, get the strays left and right.
I'm making fun of him because of Chained Together.
Was he bad?
No, he was good.
Who was?
We all had
bad.
our moments.
Yeah. But we were all good.
It was all fun. That's been out for like a month now, probably by this
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
There's Chained Together 2.
Lastly, someone said, hey, anyone reading this who thinks loyalty tests are a good idea, please stay single. You are not ready for a relationship, and it's not fair for you to rope someone into your emotional dysfunction. I think the jump to thinking this is a loyalty test is a little crazy. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible because we have read stories where it has happened, but the idea of telling like your sister or telling a friend to like hit on your partner to see their reaction. I think if you're at that point, you need to have a
other
serious
problems.
you have problems.
I mean, but was it like the sister who put her up to it? I mean, it could have just been like a weird. Also, this is my first time ever hearing the phrase loyalty test.
That was a loyalty test.
And that was a
It's a loyalty test, and
I
Spencer,
failed.
you failed.
You know, maybe the sister was just like, I don't like the vibes in this guy. I'm gonna offer to sleep with him because, like, to me, that's just as far fetched as legitimately just offering to sleep with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's a crazy thing. The fact that she texted it too is pretty nuts. She also said she knows that women can get emotionally and physically abusive and can put a stop to intimacy during pregnancy, and that she is willing to help me out anytime sexually or emotionally during and after the pregnancy. There's something going on. There's a lot of layers to
what
this.
book did she read?
Yeah.
The pregnant.
Come as you aren't.
fighters. Whoa, that was good.
There
That's
it is.
good.
Or it's fake, which is always a possibility.
That's always something you can.
That's always a possibility on Reddit.
She's like, I don't have a sister.
My sister's been dead for 15 years.
She exploded.
Guys, it's time for our final story. It's time for a legend that people have been asking for since this show started.
Oh shit.
If this video doesn't trend because of this, I'm gonna be mad.
I don't think Reddit Stories has ever trended.
Really?
No.
That
That's
starts,
what's crazy.
dude. You guys got to put poop. Well, sorry.
You know what
I
it is.
know the legend. Do you know the legend?
Is this poop knife?
This is Poop Knife.
Wow. I know
It-
this one too.
Yeah, this is a legendary story. This is arguably like the most
This is the
famous
story.
Reddit story. This is Poop Knife. And if you've not heard about it, buckle up. This comes from our confession and our Museum of Reddit because it is such an old post. I was 22 years old when I learned that not every family has a poop knife. Who here in this room, raise your hand if you have not heard this story or you've not read this story. Okay,
Wow.
okay, here we go.
Get ready, y'all.
My family poops big. Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's our diet, but everyone births giant logs of crap. If anyone has laid a mega poop, you know that sometimes it won't flush. It lays across the hole in the bottom of the bowl, and the vortex of draining water merely gives it a spin as it mocks you. Growing up, this was a common enough occurrence that our family had a poop knife. It was an old rusty kitchen knife that had hung on a nail in the laundry room, only to be used for that purpose. It was normal to walk through the hallway and have someone call out, "Hey, can you get me the poop knife?" I thought it was standard kit. You have your plunger, your toilet brush, and your poop knife. Fast forward to 22. It's been a day or two between poops, and I'm over at my friend's house. My friend was the local dealer and always had guests over.
Local dealer of what?
Poop knives.
Of poop knives. Because you can't buy weed without sitting on your ass and sampling it for an hour. I excuse myself and lay a gigantic turd. I look down and see that it's a sideways one, so I crack the door.
What the fuck?
Well, it's a sideways one.
It's a sideways one, dude. So I crack the door.
Mondays, am I right?
I crack the door and call out for my friend. He arrives and I ask him for his poop knife. My what? Your poop knife, I say. I need to use it, please.
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 What the is a poop knife? Obviously he has one, but maybe he calls it by a more delicate name. A fecal cleaver, a dung divider, a guano glaive. I explain what it is I want and why I want it. He starts giggling, then laughing. Then lots of people start laughing. It turns out the music stopped and everyone heard my pleas.
The record scratch.
Everyone heard my pleas through the door. It also turns out that none of them had poop knives. It was just my f***ed up family with their f***ed up bowels. F*** my life. I told this to my wife last night, who was amused and horrified at the same time. It turns out that she did not know what a poop knife was and had been using the old rusty knife hanging in the utility closet as a basic utility knife. Thankfully, she didn't cook with it, but used it to open Amazon boxes.
Let her cook.
She will be getting her own utility knife now.
To stab him with, I hope.
Yeah.
Dude,
This is awful.
it's probably been like a good 3 or 4 years since I've reheard this story. It's so good.
It's so funny.
Every time.
I have never heard. I know the tale,
Yeah.
but I've never heard the story.
But
There's like joke versions of a poop knife on the internet from like after the
That's
story.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well,
How
it's
is it
sideways.
getting sideways? How are we getting sideways?
I don't know,
He
man.
sits side.
Do we have like a piggy bank slot down there? It's coming out full sideways. What's happening?
Dude.
But it's like coming out like that.
Well, I think he means it goes down and it goes. It's
I'm
so
aware
big.
of what he means. I'm just shocked at how frequent. What? It's so vile.
He's like, that's
the
when everything
words.
went sideways.
Stupid. This is awful.
No, bro. Like I like. Maybe TMI. I don't think I've ever taken a shit so big it just wouldn't flush.
I
Like
never have.
the toilet has broken on me before, but it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, look.
So you think?
Yeah.
I can say here I'm being vulnerable. No, I have not either.
Hey, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm super normal.
I guess it's a real thing. I mean, some people out there they poop big. You know,
I
Since
poop
both of-
big. I play hard. I poop big.
there is that. Have you ever seen that famous photo of the like nurse running down the hallway with the it's like the bucket thing they have in hospital beds, and it's just the biggest turd you've ever seen in your life. It's
I haven't heard the word turd in years.
I know this is also. Also, I feel like I also have to say that I've all my poops flushed since you two admitted to it, and
Yeah.
I've been silent
Hey,
since.
bro.
So I feel like I have to also say that
when this video comes out, they're like, Tommy's silence is deafening.
Tommy silence is sideways.
Tommy's silence.
Oh, God. Bro, the amount of times Ian has made poop knife jokes over the years, it's a lot.
Seriously.
It's
makes a
such
lot
an
of poop
Ian story.
It is such an Ian story.
Not because he would do it. It's just like something about it is just like, oh, this is so Ian.
What I think frustrates me about this, what I hate about him, I don't hate this guy for having a poop knife. I hate him for not keeping it in the bathroom.
No, that's crazy.
Exactly.
That's where I'm like, the are you doing? Like,
Right.
you're talking about a plunger, the toilet brush and stuff. I'm like, things you keep in your bathroom,
Mhm.
but your poop knife you keep so far away you have to call someone to go get the knife that you're going to use
What?
to cut your shit.
It's
your
got to
mom?
be the most backwoods ass hanging on a nail in the laundry room. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
No, this is Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
A couple comments. For some reason, I thought you were going to say you cut it while it was still coming out of your ass like a pasta shaper. Someone said, cut the shit. This can't be real. Someone said, what the heck do y'all eat? Lastly, someone said, today I learned my husband needs a poop knife.
What the fuck?
I like how At the end of our stories, we have like a little discussion thing where Emily will put like a discussion point, like talk about this, or like what do you think about this? She just wrote, "This is insane,"
Yeah.
Yep.
and it is insane.
And it is insane.
It's fully crazy. Wow.
Wow.
Finally read it.
That's
Whoa.
crazy. And there's been an update.
He's dead. He pooped too hard and he died.
He poops big.
If only Elvis had a poop knife.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, he needed to like put it up and swirl it around a little bit. He died of constipation. That's the.
Oh my
We can cut that. He needed serious mental and physical help.
God. This is just.
Hey, it's Boys' Day. It's Boys'
I
Day.
know. I know.
Hey, we poop
Last, like,
we
3
play big, we
hours.
poop big. And Shane and I, normal poopers. I don't know about you.
You don't know about Tommy.
I know you made a statement. Your
Not
statement,
sure
your
about
statement came a
Tommy.
little late. Okay, felt like you felt obligated to say something.
You thought it was performative?
Yeah, it was a little performative, bro.
Oh my God. Thank you both for being here. This was a wild ride.
This was crazy.
This was fun.
Good picks.
Thanks.
picks.
Thanks. And thank you for watching. Comment down below if you have a poop knife.
Yeah,
Let us know if you have one, if you feel like you need one.
I've got like a Wusthof in there.
What?
It's that really nice knife brand. It was kind of a joke. It's like they sell it like Williams Sonoma or Sur la Table.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I would pay you $20 to go to a Sur la Table and ask if they have poop
Like-
knives. Do you have poop knives? Right onto the cutting board.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you so much for playing my game.
Welcome back to Reddit Stories. I'm Shane, and today it's the classic Am I the Asshole posts that we all love and hate. I am joined by Olivia and Amanda. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you both doing?
Fantastic.
I'm doing really good.
We're hungry.
I'm
We
hungry.
just keep talking about food.
Yeah.
It's a mistake.
It's early.
It's early in the morning right now.
Yes, it is.
But
You are just glowing.
Yeah, you are glowing.
Really?
You are glowing.
Thank you.
Did you get sun?
actually, I got sun last week, but you know what I did try this morning? I plunged my face in like a bowl of ice water.
Oh,
It wasn't like super cold, but it was like a little bit.
Oh,
So
that's
good for
good.
you.
That's so good for you.
because it's good for
Okay.
your nervous system,
It's good
right?
for your nervous system.
I just did
Yeah.
it to kind of wake up, and I was like, all right.
Whoa.
Wow.
Anyways, are we ready for some stories?
Yes.
Here we go. Our first story from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not telling my boss about his boogers every day?
Boogers?
About his boogers.
Oh, boy.
This is so asinine, but here we are. My boss and I have client-facing positions, so we talk to people face-to-face every day. My boss is also 6'4", and I'm 5'5", so I'm constantly looking up to talk to him. I'm not sure if it's because of the allergies or what, but every single day
Oh, I
he has boogers in his
forgot
nose that are
about the
clearly visible.
booger down
And every
here.
single day I tell him,
My
you have
buddy.
boogers in your nose.
Oh.
I try to tell him before he sees anyone else because no one wants that embarrassing situation. This has been going on for
Okay, guys,
weeks.
I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna keep
Single
drawing, but I
day
might go lay
without
down and do it
fail.
because my
This
back
is where I may
hurts.
be the asshole.
Anyways,
I decided
guys,
to stop telling him. He's a
I will
grown man in
see
his
y'all
30s, and I start
tomorrow.
to feel like he's
Tomorrow,
mom having to tell him
Saturday.
to blow his freaking nose every
Yeah,
once in a
I'll
while.
probably see
He's
y'all
aware this
tomorrow.
happens every day.
So,
It's not new. I feel like he needs to start taking
hang on, I'm
preventive
stalling
measures,
while
or
I
at
get
least
the
look in
music
mirror at
ready.
some point. On Friday, I didn't tell him, and he had a meeting.
What do you guys want to listen
Apparently,
to?
the
Let's
other
listen
person he knows
to
personally
like
jokingly
dubstep.
handed him a tissue
Like,
and didn't make a big
we
deal out
have
of it,
been.
but he was super upset with me for not giving him a heads up. Like I said, I
Ugh.
get it. It's an embarrassing thing that happened, but my job description does not include check boss knows every day for
Sure.
bears.
Okay, guys, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see y'all tomorrow for another drawing stream, and we might even do some Pokemon. Bye!